Cardinals fans hope their team has some fire left. The Rutgers faithful have followed their team south for what's become a very good rivalry in the Big East Conference. Rutgers bull-bound behind the running of Ray Rice, who looks fired up for what may be his final regular season game in college. But this night in Louisville belongs to the brilliant quarterback Brian Brohm, playing his final game at Papa John Stadium, determined not to go out with a losing season. Rutgers and Louisville coming up right now. Welcome to Jimmy V Week on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation for Cancer Research in tribute to Jim Valvano and his dream to defeat cancer. He's remembered fondly at Rutgers University, WV's alma mater, where Greg Schiano has built a strong football program trying to go bowling for a third consecutive year. Louisville did not have the kind of season they imagined, but a chance to knock off Rutgers tonight and avoid a losing season. Welcome to College Football Primetime, presented by Applebee's. They're calling for a blackout here in Papa John Stadium. The Cardinals dressed in all black as you see the seniors and their parents lined up for the always emotional ceremony of senior night. These seniors have certainly accomplished a lot in their careers here at Louisville. Welcome, Chris Fowler, Doug Flutie, and Craig James. This year for these seniors hasn't been that great. Let's be honest, it has been a disappointing season for both these teams, particularly Louisville. Now, Rutgers today accepted a bid to go to the International Bowl in Toronto against a MAC team. Not what they'd imagined at the beginning of the season, guys. They got up into the top 10, but still, Ray Rice and Greg Schiano and company say they're motivated to finish strong tonight.
Well, if you want to finish strong, you got to get a big bucket of rice over there on your sidelines and get 27 rolling for you. Ray Rice is one of those players that, starting with the pregame warm-up, he starts talking smack. He starts looking around. He wants to find who's with him. 5.1 yard average, 17 touchdowns. He is the heart and soul of this football team. When Ray Rice is going, Mike Teal gets to play action passes. He's able to throw the ball down the field. They score points. It's all about Ray Rice. Got to get him loaded up.
Well, they'll face a Louisville defense that has really struggled this year. That's why they're sitting there at 5-6, Doug. But Brian Brohm says he feels he's playing the best football of his life, and he's had a very good season statistically.
Absolutely. He's been the consistent factor. Yeah, the defense has struggled, but he keeps lighting it up. In fact, in 4 of their losses, he's averaged 433 yards passing. He's carried this team on his back. He's improved as a quarterback, showed great poise. And I'll tell you, we saw him against West Virginia carry this team to a very close football game.
He wants one more big performance. He'll look for Harry Douglas, number 85, his favorite receiver, who's also playing his final game at Papa John's tonight. Down on the field, Aaron Andrews has more on Brohm's motivation tonight. Aaron?
Well, Chris, for Louisville, last year their loss to Rutgers did so much more than end their perfect season and a chance for a national championship. It stayed with this Cardinals team all season long. In fact, senior wide receiver Harry Douglas said he's had tonight's rematch circled on his calendar for a year. Why? Because last year's loss was the first time in his life he's ever had his heart broken. Now, of course, for senior quarterback Brian Brohm, he said it's hard to forget about last year, everything that was at stake and what happened to them following that loss. But he did promise us, Chris, I think his quote was, look, the offense and myself, we want to light it up tonight. I think his quote was, you're going to see some fireworks.
Already seeing some fireworks. We'll see if we get the scoreboard variety. Brohm and the Cardinals on senior night against Ray Rice and Rutgers. Kickoff coming up. Let's go back first to the studio.
Hail to the victor. Fight on, Scarlet Knight. Shine through, O Cardinal. Ray Rice has represented Rutgers proudly, personifying the words of the university alma mater.
And resolved that I should be a man, and so I settled down in that noisy college town on the banks of the old Raritan.
Brian Brohm, a homegrown second-generation son of his alma mater.
We, thy loyal sons, now stand to sing thy highest praise with deepest reverence in our hearts, for these are college days.
R squared and B squared show their honor and determination. Rutgers versus Louisville now. And the Cardinals make their entrance on senior night. Already plenty of pyrotechnics here at Papa John Stadium. We'll see if Brian Brohm and the Cardinals can deliver
on their promise to provide fireworks once the game is kicked off. They'd like to cap off what has been a disappointing season and get back to 6-6. Rutgers will head north of the border. Their bowl game in Toronto against a MAC opponent. They want to do so as an 8-win team. Chilly, 35 degrees, no wind to speak of, and no chance of precipitation. Pretty nice football night.
Yeah,
This your reporter.
If you've got a good hat on, keep your head warm.
And set to kick off for Louisville, Todd Flannery. He'll kick it deep. Rutgers winning the toss and electing to take the football right away. And you know they'll put Ray Rice to work right away. It's a short kick by Flannery. And up to take it is Tyquan Underwood. And he's out across the 30-yard line. Good coverage. Mike Teal's had an injured thumb. It's hampered him most of the season. He should be pretty well rested. Only completing 4 passes the last 2 games. Doug will keep a close eye on that tonight.
Absolutely. He was throwing the ball extremely well early in the year. Then he got the thumb, and it just hasn't been the same the rest of the way. They are coming off that bye week.
Well, let me tell you, the best thing about that thumb that could happen is for 27 to run the ball real well. You don't have to worry about thumb pressure.
Ray Rice more than 1,600 yards, trying to win the Big East rushing title for a 2nd consecutive year. Nobody's ever done that. Underwood in motion on the first play for the Scarlet Knights. And no surprise, it is number 27 straight up the middle. His former backfield mate, Brian Leonard, now with the Rams, has the Scarlet Knights offense tonight.
At O-line, we have Pedro Sosa and Jeremy Zuda. 2 guys are going to open some big holes up for our running back. And QB, we got Mike Teal, guy that's the leader and captain of this team. At wide receiver, we have Kenny Britt and Tyquan Underwood. Guys are going to make some big plays down the field. And at running back, we got Heisman candidate Ray Rice.
Rice picked up 2 yards on the first carry. Teal, play action fake, throws it near side, Kenny Britt. And the speedster has a first down. Still running across the 45-yard line. You see evidence of the troubles Louisville's had on defense all season long. Donna Braum, Brian's mom, sets the lineup.
Here on senior night, Willie Williams is the lone senior on the defensive line, while Earl Heyman leads the team in sacks. The linebacker position is led by seniors Preston Smith and Malik Jackson, while junior Lamar Miles leads the team in tackles. And the secondary has experience with senior Deion Palmer and junior Rod Council. Go Cards.
It's a defense that was number 17 scoring defense a year ago. Thank you, Donna, but has struggled this year. And Rice into the secondary. Another first down inside the 35. Bobby Buchanan on the stop.
Well, you know, when you talk about this offense here, you have to play downhill if you're a defense going against Ray Rice. But watch the left guard pull around. Many times it takes you to the hole. But the vision of Ray Rice is outstanding. Makes mistakes backside with a run.
38 Palmer came up the field, allowed the cutback lane. He was looking for a naked bootleg, something like that, had to contain the quarterback. Ray hit the cutback crease.
Ray running behind 3 seniors tonight. He feels obligated to run well for them. Wants to send those big old linemen who have done so much for him out on a good note tonight. Rice, the 3rd carry, short gain. You know, you heard Pedro Sosa introduced. He is that left tackle, a senior. It was a game-time decision. A key guy in that offensive line has been playing hurt. But he is able to go, at least at the start of the game, and Ray's happy about that.
Tell you how good he is against USF's George Selvey, who's a sack master. He allowed against him only 2 tackles, no sacks in his performance, and so very important to have him in the lineup.
This is great to see him out on the field on senior night and to be starting this ball game. Hopefully he can finish it too.
They've only allowed 9 sacks all season. 3 of them came against Pittsburgh in the last game when Sosa wasn't in there early in the game. Teal straight back. Well protected. Takes a shot downfield, and it's a touchdown. Kenny Britt, his 6th of the season, beats Johnny Patrick for 35 yards. Just like that, Scarlet Knights take the lead. Craigthorpe's defense has been woeful all season. No other word for it.
Well, the middle of the field here, Doug, you can go to it in a second. Watch the tight end in the middle here, hooks up in the inside and opens up the deep ball down the middle. Nobody's there. There's your tight end. Look at this free.
And that was your free safety covering the tight end because it was a blitz, so there's no help in the middle of the field. One-on-one with the corner, touchdown.
Jeremy Ito on for the conversion. 69-yard drive in 5 plays. Took 2:26. And as he has so many times, Brian Brohm will have to take the football in a hole. And Mr. Sosa on the left side getting things done.
Big fella, you know, you just got through talking about him. Outside, push, keep your feet, allow some time. Hey, you know what, Doug?
He didn't look real mobile there, though. He looked like that he was bothering him some. Here's your one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, there's your mobility right there. Throw the ball deep. And, you know, we were sitting there visiting with Craig Thorpe right before the game, and 88's running his Britt's running the pat and go. We said to him, we joked, hey, you don't want to let him off the line free, do you?
And sure enough, they were playing off. Yeah, that guy, you don't want him free in the secondary too often. You'd like to get in his face, get some hands on him, disrupt the route. Boy, that was too easy, Coach.
He's a sophomore from Bayonne, New Jersey. Came in needing just 16 yards for 1,000 yards, already 50 yards on 2 catches. Been really coming on, and he's a guy that they'll look to more next year when this becomes perhaps more pass-oriented team, if Rice does decide to move on, as we expect.
Well, Teal, you know, has shown a lot of improvement in the passing game all year long. Obviously, the thumbs slowed that down for him. And, you know, next year they may become that passing team.
You know what? We thought this might be a shootout game. They're not going to hold Brian Brohm scoreless. He better come out with his offense early on, though, because it could be one of them up and down the field.
It may be one of those nights where he's afraid not to score. He's going to have to score on every possession.
No, they did a pretty good job last year's game against Brohm. They didn't score after halftime, the Cardinals, in that loss in Piscataway. It's Buchanan picking his way, tripped up at the 27-yard line. Check it, Bilal Powell, the young running back, on the return. And here is Brian Brohm. Said he'll try to keep his emotions in check tonight, even though he knows that this is it for him at Papa John's. That means a lot. This clan, of course, his 2 big brothers played. His father, Oscar, and his husband played here as well.
Seems like yesterday I was here doing a TCU game, his freshman year, and watching Brian out there throw the ball, it just seems like I know his mom and dad feel like it's flown by as well.
Just watching him warm up, he has a big-time arm. Just standing there flat-footed and slinging it.
It's Brock Bolin on the carry to open the game, and a huge hole for Bolin. Inside the 20. These folks have not seen many big plays from the running game this season for the Cardinals. That one for 57.
Yeah, you're going to see here, there has to be a blown assignment. You've got 3 over on the right side. And there's just, look at the crease. Look at the crease. What's going on?
Fireworks, that's more like an M80. Just blow it up in the first, right up front.
Talking about a
great way to start.
Had a long run of 20 yards this season coming into this game. And the Cardinals set up inside the 20. Bowling again. Hammers for a short gain down to the 15. Once again, Donna Brown back with the Cardinals offensive lineup.
The offensive line, led by senior Danny Barlow and all Big East selection Eric Wood, has the most important job of protecting my favorite player, my son, quarterback Brian Brohm. Tight end Gary Barnage and Brian's go-to guy, wide receiver Harry Douglas, are also playing their last home game for the Cardinals. Go Cards.
Donna does a nice job. She's going to hold it together tonight better than her husband, according to Brian's pregame prediction. First throw of the night, Brohm to the end zone. Over Urrutia's head. Trying to get into the 6'6" junior from here in Louisville. This is an important day just for the whole family. Brian, his big brother, Jeff coaching him. Greg is head of football operations here, flanked by his folks.
Yeah, there's Jeff over here. Asked Jeff if he was proud of his brother, and he said absolutely. You know, withstanding the season and the expectations for the team, still doing well individually, but hanging in there for the team.
3rd and 7 on the Cardinals' first possession. Bolin is the setback as the senior Harry Douglas in motion to the right of Brohm. Pressure. And the first sack of the night. Jamal Westerman, the talented junior pass rusher, is 8.5 sacks on the season. Helped out by Silvestro.
Kind of looked like that Brom was waiting on his favorite target, that tight end, Barnage, to come across the middle of the field. You know?
And now a field goal attempt, and here's Art Carmody. If he makes this field goal, he'll become the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. A record held by Roman Anderson, the kicker at Houston. This from 41 yards. A low kick and a piece of history. The 59th career field goal for the Louisville senior gives him the new record, the all-time scoring leader in major college football. But Rutgers prevents a touchdown. He gets the football back up 7-3 in Louisville when you come back. And Lumber, Louisville slugger, he gets that little customized job.
Man, Flutie, we need a few of those for next year baseball.
Need a couple M9s is what we need. A couple M9s.
Brotherly communication.
The 110 model.
Jeff Braun, the quarterback's coach, used to be on the field, and he coached Brian pretty tough in the days when he was on the field and in his face. Now a nice, mature telephone conversation after the first drive produces 3 points for
It's early. It's early.
It's a little easier when he's upstairs on the phone.
Braun 0 for 1 in that opening drive. The running of Brock Boland got him down there in field goal range.
Thought he had a real shot on that fade route. He just overthrew a nice release by Rudy in the right corner. Just missed him. That was the second down play.
We got 4.5 minutes in. We got 118 yards of offense so far, guys.
Yeah. It's a shootout. Fireworks before the game. EA, she pointed that out.
Flannery set to kick off. And it's another short one. This is Mason Robinson with a crease. Mason Robinson barreling out near the 40-yard line for good field position for the Scarlet Knights' second possession.
You talk about the relationship, brother and brother, last year. And I tell you what, there was a rough outing there for Brom, and there's his brother coaching him up on him.
He's not done.
Want some more of that.
I think when he's your brother, though, you got to prove that you're going to be tough on him in front of the team once in a while.
Of course, Jeff, a very accomplished quarterback here as well. He put a lot of yards and touchdowns, and he knows what he's talking about the position. And they're fine when they get off the field. There's no hard feelings. And that's got to pass that period in their coach-player relationship. A loss for Rice. Aaron, interesting brotherly relationship. We talked to both guys about it.
We absolutely did, and it doesn't stop with just Jeff. Greg, Brian Brom's brother, who is the director of football operations here at Louisville, shared with us before the game that he was all over Brian. Pictures tonight at 6 o'clock with the family right before the big walkout. Brian a little bit late, and he got on his brother. What do you think you're doing? Come on, just because it's senior night. Brian said to him, come on, man, I got a lot of stuff going on. And Jeff, of course, relayed to us, just trying to loosen him up a little bit before the game.
He seems okay. He seems as loose as you can be on senior night. After a 2-yard loss on first down, Teal fires far side, complete. And it's Kevin Brock, the talented tight end. What a specimen he is at 6'5", 250 out of Hackensack. You watched him catch a touchdown pass on a fake field goal against USF, the big win Thursday night earlier this season.
Very impressive play. You know, when you start looking at this Rutgers football team in the university, you wonder if Ray Rice leaves, is there a stable of players around to keep the momentum? 3 straight years of bowl seasons. I mean, so those are the kind of guys that have to step up and fill the shoes in the void of a guy like Ray Rice.
And Rice, by the way, has not announced his intention. You just feel a talented junior running back with as many carries as he had always leans toward coming out. 3rd and 2. And they'll throw for it. Teal complete across midfield at the 46-yard line. There's Britt again. Serene on the stop. Teal 4 for 4, and the thumb looks okay.
Yeah, a little better defensively there, though. They got in their face, got in press coverage, made it a little more difficult on Britt to get open, but Teal is slinging the ball, comes off with nice speed there.
You saw Britt work back, didn't you? How he worked for the ball. I mean, that's I know as a quarterback, you'd love to have the guy working, getting back, come open.
Teal is always like one snap or even one handoff away from re-aggravating the thumb. We'll talk about that in a second. Throw it again. Teal downfield. Has a man. Broken up. Near the goal line. Good job by Tureen defending on Britt. It's going to be his assignment all night. Woody Tureen, the junior from Fort Lauderdale.
Well, Tureen was burned early on. He didn't get in his giddy up early enough. And this is a speed route. Britt runs by. Nice job of Tureen turning. Look at that.
Got a little arm bar at the end, or a little hand in there. He did have him beat. The ball was a little underthrown, maybe a little to the inside too. So Teal needed to air that one out. Either get it up a little earlier or just get it out there.
Teal already has as many completions tonight as he's had in the last couple of games combined. Against Pittsburgh, he was just 3 of 9 with 2 picks. That thumb would not allow him to throw it at all effectively. Second and long. Rice plows ahead for a short gain. All eyes on San Antonio Saturday night on ABC. The Missouri Tigers national title hopes on the line. They get a rematch with Oklahoma. The Sooners took them down by 10 in Norman earlier this year thanks to some Missouri turnovers late. Lots of juice, lots of jaws. Should be a lot of fun.
What do you mean, a lot of juice on the Riverwalk there? You talking about the game?
That too, but a lot of juice going into the game because I think that the guy Stoops is going to have the Sooners.
Number 9 is favored over number 1.
Yeah, it's happened over the years, a number 1 team, an underdog. Not very often, about 12 times in the last 20 years or so. On third down, Teal has time, flips it short. He's got the tight end. And rumbling inside the 35. See where they spot it. Brock got near the marker before Lamar Miles, the leading tackler for the Cardinals, stopped him.
Louisville's going to have to get some pressure on the quarterback. Teal's standing there flat-footed, just taking his time and perusing the field.
Mike Cassidy, defensive coordinator, he's dialed up a few different blitzes. He's had some fire zone out there, and he's trying to figure it out, but they're not getting to the quarterback.
That was a blitz we saw on the touchdown pass. Yeah. So much for that. But actually, Louisville's done a good job against the run so far.
This is not a team that rushes the passer very well. 17 sacks for the season. Elvis Dumerville had more than that by himself a few years ago here. Dwayne White. And you see the Scarlet Knights are a few inches short. It'll set up a 4th down and a decision for Schiano at about the 36.
What do you think Ray Rice is suggesting?
Give me the ball. Give me the rock.
Did he get the rock here?
I don't know. I ain't no genius.
Don't outthink yourself here either. You want to go. No, I'm a quarterback. I want to go play action for a touchdown pass.
And I'd like to follow the fullback.
Yes, you would.
Let's get a new set of downs.
Absolutely. Move the chains.
Morales, number 37 there, is a big 250-pound fullback, and he's in the game.
Freshman. Another one of those players that has to step up in the future for Rutgers.
An early chance for this beleaguered Louisville defense to make a stand here. And a quick snap and get the first down. Teal's a physical quarterback. You see him on the field, and he's put on some weight, gotten stronger. He's a kind of a thick 220-pounder.
He is, but he stood up straight on that quarterback sneak initially there and got stuffed. Bounced off the pile, still got the first down with a little second effort there, but I didn't like the way he stood up straight. He is a physical guy. He's 6'4". I mean, geez.
Doug, when you ran the sneak, you stayed below.
I went under everyone.
Absolutely. You weren't going to give him a shot at you, were you?
A little help from Ray Rice on that one. No, get small. Small target.
Morales still in the game, the fullback in front of Rice in the I formation on first down. This is Ray. Down for a loss. Good penetration by L.D. Scott, the sophomore defensive end from Auburn, Alabama.
Bunched up in there. Louisville's really intent on stopping the run. You know, the problem they have, though, Doug, is you can stop the run, but we've already seen Mike Teal can make a play hurt with the play action.
Right. Against West Virginia, they committed to the run. They got the safeties involved, which you're doing now, and they did a decent job because West Virginia didn't have a great outside passing game. Rutgers can throw the ball outside when they're one-on-one.
When Teal's thumb is healthy, and it appears to be okay tonight. Empty set, 5 receivers for Teal. 2nd and 10 over the middle. Low throw, and it's complete. Underwood going to the ground to make the catch. He's got a first down at the 23.
You know what? Looking at the future for Rutgers, I firmly believe they're going to miss Ray Rice. But look at the development since we followed Mike Teal from last year. I mean, this is a guy that just keeps getting better and better.
Oh, last year talking about they were one-dimensional. Teal got a few play-action passes and hit guys that were wide open. But for the most part, they were a running football team. Now, they still thrive off of Ray Rice, but they can throw the football, and they're underclassmen doing it.
Teal 6 of 7. As Britt goes in motion. Teal rolls to that side, wants to throw it back. It's a lateral, and the offensive lineman, Jeremy Zuda, the senior, rumbling inside the 10. How about that?
It's senior night, baby. A tackle eligible.
Well, that's a big receiver there at 6'4", 295. Jeremy Zuda come the backside. Hey, how about the execution? They fake the zone stretch on the top side up here, right? You're going to see the zone stretch. Zuda, very patient, calm, that allowed the linebackers to get away from him. He sold the running game.
Watch the hurdle at the end, though. He's going to hurdle oh, get me up there. Ouch.
You talk about a sore cheek.
Ooh, yeah.
His right cheek, he will feel that tomorrow.
I'm not sure that Rod Council, 190-pounder, wanted to get in the way of the knee, but keeping your eye on the right side, 77, Sosa, who's down on the field, may have re-aggravated that injury.
Yeah,
so the bookend tackle injured as his buddy makes a nice 13-yard run there.
He looked pretty tentative on that knee in the early series there, but being senior night, he tried to give it a go and didn't appear to do anything real drastic to it on that play.
Of course, this is not the final football game for the Rutgers seniors. They're off to Toronto, the International Bowl, to take on a MAC team, perhaps Miami of Ohio, Ball State. Hope that Sosa, if he can't go tonight, will at least be able to rest that left knee and get it ready for his final college game. These teams have already accepted their bowl bids. Cincinnati out of the Big East. Guys, this conference has 3 9-3 teams ahead of Rutgers and behind West Virginia that have accepted bowl bids.
You know, and this is a conference too that really wants to kind of prop up their standing in the bowl season in the future. And
last year, Big East 5-0, 5-0 in bowls. So they got a good little history going. And they talk about the strength of this conference, and you know they take pride in the fact that West Virginia's in the position they're in. So
and the coaches are pulling for them too. You know, these Big East coaches would not like nothing more than to have a champion come out of here. I talked to Brian Kelly today, and Brian said, hey, I'm pulling for Oklahoma to beat Missouri so that we can get a West Virginia playing Ohio State, and then I'm pulling for West Virginia to whip up on Ohio State so I can go in the state of Ohio and coach and recruit against Jim Tressel.
Kelly's always working an angle. He's always thinking.
He's a good one.
So Kevin Haslam, number 78, replaces Sosa, who was at least able to put some weight on that knee and walk off. First and goal. Rice bounces it outside. Ray Rice to the end zone. They didn't wrap him up. 18th rushing touchdown for the junior.
Louisville had everyone in the box. They had the play stopped. You can't commit any more guys to the run. You can't play it any better. You got to tackle.
Well, the way you tackle a guy like Ray Rice is get to his legs. If you don't get to his legs, he's going to find a way to get out of there.
Yeah, those legs are
terrible. Terrible job of effort. Deion Palmer, 38's in the backfield with him. He could have picked his pocket.
If I grab a hold of his legs, he's just carrying me and taking me for a ride. We've seen those quads, guys. He is powerful lower body. Powerful.
He also doesn't wear down.
Oh, what's he doing?
Hey,
jogging over to that heated bench again. Get a rest.
I always stayed away from the heat.
He says, I'm going to sit down now. I got a lot more carries in me tonight. I'm going to stay rested.
I got a lot of more.
How many carries away from having 900 in a 3-year career? It's not many.
I think he needed 15 tonight.
No, I think it was like 50. I mean, it's a big number.
That's a 61-yard drive, 11 plays, capped off by Ray Rice's 18th rushing touchdown of 07. Back for the second time. Don't have any passing yards. Brom 0 for 1. Short kickoff taken by Powell. Expect to see a lot of Bilal Powell tonight. He's become the featured back late in the season for this Louisville offense. Back to Reese Davis in the studio. Reese.
Chris is going to keep you up to date on what's going on between the Packers and the Cowboys tonight. We'll have constant updates throughout the game, expanded bottom line score alerts after every drive as Tony Romo and Brett Favre square off in the NFC showdown. Temporary supremacy in the NFC at stake tonight. We'll keep you up to date every step of the way.
Reese, thank you. So the Cardinals have the ball at the 30-yard line for their second possession. Brock Bolin is the setback. Gets Gary Barnidge, the tight end, in motion. And it's Bolin picking his way for a nice gain on first down. Brian Leonard back to set his former school's defense now.
For defense, in the D-line, we got Eric Foster, All-American. Guys make some big plays out there. For linebacker, we got Kevin Malice, the guy who's leading the team in tackles this year. For the corners, we got Devin and Jason Cordy, twin brothers, guys that can cover well. For safeties, we got Ron Geralt and Courtney Green, two hard-hitting safeties.
It's a very good pass defense for the Scarlet Knights, and they've done a pretty good job in the early going against Brom. A flag is down in the backfield. Brom throws it away. Gary Watts pressuring, a junior from Miami, and it's a hold.
Well, they're just going to put themselves in long yardage situations. Had a nice run on first down, sitting in second and short.
Personal foul. Clipping on the offense. Number 78. 15-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Replay. Second down.
Giacomini, the right tackle, guilty of the clip right there.
Oh, boy. Well, attempted.
He tried.
Yeah, he attempted to clip him.
As Eric Foster was in with the early pressure from his defensive tackle spot.
Is an attempt a penalty?
Yeah, it is tonight.
Okay.
The intent was there, so the flag came out.
It's like if you take a swing at another guy, is it a punch if you miss?
I think he might have grazed his calf on that attempted clip. 2nd and 17 now. Costly penalty. Brom batted away. And pressure off the edge. Pete Teverdov, the junior from Union, New Jersey, got the hand up.
If there's been a resounding theme that's negative for this offense all season, it's 3rd and long. They are always trying to convert 3rd and long. You get the penalty on first down, backs you up, then you have a mistake on 2nd, 3rd and long.
And playing from behind, that's what both those two things are why Brian Brom has thrown more interceptions this year. 3rd and long situations, coming from behind all the time, the defense allowing points, trailing in the game already 14-3. He's going to have to just slam.
And that guy Rice is going to get the football back if Brom and company can't convert on 3rd and 17. In the gun. Pressure. Brom fires into traffic. It's complete. Bolin's got the football, but not nearly enough for a first down. So the Scarlet Knights, who clearly won the chess match against Brom and the offense under Bobby Petrino a year ago, playing well early.
You know what? This is a great pass defense. Rutgers is really statistically one of the better in the country. They have that balance between good pressure and great coverage.
And tonight it's the pressure so far that is making the big difference.
Sophomore Corey Getchie on the punt. It's off the side of his foot, an ugly looking kick. Bouncing out of bounds, and Rutgers already up by 11 points. Will have good field position on their 3rd possession here. That's the last thing a struggling defense needed. Another heaping helping of Rice as Brom and the Cards in an early hole on senior night. 28 yards on that punt. Lots of cover in his career, obviously.
My all-time favorite athlete.
Is he?
All-time. Hands down. About 5 years ago in New York, had a chance to meet him and was absolutely speechless.
Just in his presence, huh?
Well,
he has an aura.
Took the time. He showed me a hand trick. He was awesome.
On first down, Teal will throw. Flips it off short. Once again, looks like it's going to be a big serve to Kevin Brock, the talented tight end who moves so well. Just trots out of bounds without making Woody Tureen hit him.
Not a good sight when you're looking at the black shirts on defense moving around and Doug not matching up and finding guys coming across.
Well, it was his own coverage dropping off, and Teal just has all day to survey the field and look around, goes to his 3rd, 4th choice. Doesn't matter. He's going to find people open if you give him that kind of time.
That's one of them can't see zones. Can't see somebody coming around me.
They've already got 8 plays tonight out of 17 for 10 or more yards. Ouch. This is Rice. They've done a pretty good job for the most part on Rice. Missed the tackle on his touchdown run. That's Willie Williams on that stop. Win and you're in Saturday continues on ESPN and ESPN2. All eyes in this conference on number 2 West Virginia, an enormous favorite over Pittsburgh at home in the backyard brawl. Arizona State in BCS contention. Can they get past the Wildcats? Mike Stoops' team comes in with a 3-game winning streak and game in Tempe on ESPN2. Talk later on about whether or not Pittsburgh has any chance of keeping it respectable against their rival. Pressure up the middle, and Rice again hammered for loss. Now the flag comes in. Thought the Cardinals might have got in a little quick to that neutral zone. The flag was delayed. Brandon Cox combining with Preston Smith on the stop. You know, Rice, 9 rushes, 7 times, has failed to gain more than 3 yards.
Offsides. The defense. 5-yard penalty.
Real close here. He's flying up, trying to anticipate the snap. I don't know. It felt like he was offside, but how do you make the call for sure on the fly like that?
You know what? I always say the quarterback, it's his responsibility when he sees that is to not allow that guy to time it up.
Lamar Miles is trying to make a play. He's the leading tackler on the defense by 72 tackles. I've never seen that before.
Somebody else make a play, will you?
120 tackles. 72 more than the next guy. But his penalty makes it 2nd and 6. Underwood comes in motion. Teal takes a shot downfield. And well covered was Britt, almost intercepted by Rod Council. We were told was going to sit out the first quarter of this game for disciplinary reasons. Went home for Thanksgiving, did not arrange a ride, did not get back on time, and Craig Thorpe said he was going to sit him out at the start and he would miss the first quarter. Well, he missed most of the first quarter. But
Britt had he's had a couple of big bombs, you know, that open receivers.
Well, that one there was no safety help on that play either, and Council did a nice job of running with him. I wanted to get back to what you said about anticipating the snap count. You're right. The quarterback holds your cadence, and it's tough on the offensive line sometimes, but sometimes you have to do it.
4 receivers for Teal on 3rd and 6. Incomplete. And now a flag comes in. Council was there to break it up. Looked like he got there just on time against Britt. Didn't know he's been flagged yet. Was the hand on the receiver's back.
Tell you what, though, night and day at the corner position with Council in there. 2 plays in a row, perfect position there. I thought he made a great break on the ball. There may have been some contact, but boy, he was in great position.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 14. From the previous line of scrimmage.
He goes after the ball.
First down.
Just kind of goes through him. I think he did contact right before the ball.
And that's a tough call, though.
It's a tough call. There's a little bump. You know, if I'm the quarterback, if I'm on offense, I'm glad it was called. If I'm on defense, I got to be upset about that one.
It creates a first down at the 29, 3rd penalty for the Cardinals. All of them have been critical. There's a wrinkle at quarterback. Chris Paul Etienne takes the handoff and throws for the end zone. A flag is down as Britt was again defended by Council. They're signaling touchdown.
Well, he bobbled that. We got to take a look at that one on the review. But again, it's a Thursday night. Schiano bringing the tricks out of the bag like he did last time.
You know, we asked him about it too. You know, we reminded him he was the Thursday night magician. He kind of,
That's Chris Paul Etienne, the freshman from Miami. And before the extra point is kicked, stop to review this.
There's no officials near the line of scrimmage, and the Rutgers extra point team is lined up, ready to snap the ball.
Touchdown. This play is under.
All right, if you couldn't hear them, call is pass interference on Council. The touchdown will count if the replay upholds it. And there's the freshman lofting up there, and Council clearly interfering that time. No debate about the penalty. Good job by Britt to come down with it if he did, but did he have control?
No, he's bobbling all the way.
No way.
He doesn't get possession until he's on the ground.
No way.
Is reversed. There is no touchdown. Receiver's foot goes out of bounds. And there's still a pass interference on the defense. 14. It's being forced from the previous line of scrimmage. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Well, these fans are happy, but can the defense are they just prolonging the touchdown? They haven't stopped them yet.
They're happy for a 15-yard penalty. And again, it was pretty obvious with the bobble and landing out of bounds and all. So I don't know how they missed it.
But did you see Coach K, Kragthorpe, imploring his team, let's go, let's get after it.
I wish it were that easy.
Oh, man.
Throw that go switch.
And, man, they've been imploring since the Middle Tennessee game around here. It hasn't been working.
They just need something to go right, you know, defensively. Come up with a turnover, something to give you that confidence and that hope.
Ball at the 14 on first down. It's Rice, and he will waltz to the end zone. Like we said, they're just prolonging the touchdown by one play. Rice, the end zone for the second time tonight. That one from 14 yards, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for the folks from Jersey. They're having a good time down here.
Did you see how quick Rutgers went to the line of scrimmage? They had a plan. They had a play. They were ready.
This is why it's been so tough for Brian Brom and the Louisville offense. They put up good stats, but every time they get the ball back, seems like they're 7 points deeper in a hole. Jeremy Ito on the conversion. So Rice, 2 touchdowns, now has 19 rushing touchdowns on the season.
Here's what Kragthorpe goes crazy about is lack of discipline on the defense. You're going to see the defensive end on this side over here just absolutely collapse and cave in and lose responsibility. In man line of scrimmage, you can't do that.
You have containment, you're unblocked, it appears that the play's going away. It's basically a naked bootleg type of play, and you have to stay home.
Malik Jackson has not played well for this defense all season.
He's a senior who's really struggled, that linebacker number 11, and he was burned by Rice, and it's 21-3 as we check back with Reese Davis in the studio. Reese? And now there is some urgency. It may be the first quarter for Brom and the Cardinals offense, but it's pretty obvious their defense can't stop them, so they need points here right away. This is Powell again. And Bilal Powell, the freshman, cuts it back. Nice return across the 35-yard line.
Well, Ray Rice this season, when you compare him to the rest of the country, particularly Darren McFadden, the numbers, they stack up. McFadden's had a heck of a season. So has Ray Rice. The touchdowns, yards per game, just about even. You know, McFadden, I think, has the edge in the Heisman race. I think he's probably the guy that's going to win the award right now. But Ray Rice has stepped up, as did McFadden did.
A lot fewer carries than McFadden's had to get this similar yardage total, that's for sure. And of course, McFadden is dangerous as a single wing quarterback. This is Powell. He's kind of the running back of the future here, and lost the football at the 45. Scarlet Knights say they have it. This is the last thing Louisville needs. Trying to make Bilal Powell the featured back, but he coughs up the football. His senior night off to a disastrous start for the Cardinals.
Well, Powell's shown some great quickness, good footwork on the kick returns. They're carrying the ball, reading the cutback lane. You're down 21-3. Hang on to the football.
You know, first of all, yeah, he's got the point tip. Hang tight with it. He runs behind his pads.
Wait a second.
I don't know. That ball,
Wait a second. Where's the knee down?
Was the knee. I don't know if the knee ever touched.
The crowd booing because they have shown the replay on the board, and the call now goes down.
Previous play is under review.
And we'll review it. We'll have another look at this here. Did the knee hit before the ball came out?
If I'm Kragthorpe right now, I'd get my guys over on the sideline while this review is taking place, and we're having a real heart-to-heart conversation with a football team. I mean, you know, this is ridiculous.
Let's see. Keep an eye on the left knee. Down there, ball still in the arm, and it kind of comes down after he makes contact with the ground.
What's that ground deal?
Fumble can't cause no ground, cuz.
That's right. Going to walk into an inherit.
What surprised him?
Well, this ruling on the field is reversed. The runner knee was down. The ball be placed at the 43-yard line. Clock operator, please put 1:56 on the clock. 1:56. Thank you.
Chris, I think there was a wider range of rules that Petrino had here for this football team.
A wider range of rules.
Meaning softer. I think there was a lot more leniency under Petrino than what Kragthorpe is used to, and these guys are having to get used to some rules.
We'll take a look at the scores again in a second here. We show you where this season really began to go wrong, and there were early signs that this defense, Mike Cassidy, who was kept on from the previous staff, was going to struggle. Bowl, the lone setback. Now they motion the tight end Barnage. On second down, Bolin has it. And bounces it back across the 45. It'll be third and very short. Jason McCourty on the stop. These folks were alarmed here when they gave up 42 points to Middle Tennessee in the win. And then, of course, the late pass by Kentucky. They lose a rivalry game. This was the shocker. Brian Brom had 555 yards passing right here, and they lost to Syracuse, one of the biggest upsets in the last couple decades.
And you remember the Kentucky game, how blown that coverage was? How
walking down the sideline in a crucial situation, the end of a ball game.
Sign of things to come, unfortunately, for this defense.
Timeout. Rutgers. It's a first charge. Timeout of the half.
Rutgers defense facing the 3rd and 1. Calls time.
Kragthorpe got Brock Bowen back in the ball game there to secure the football, put an upperclassman in there carrying the rock.
University of Houston Cougar team that I was such a big fan of.
Great run. See, they misfire on the offensive line. Aaron, what about Patino and Steve Kragthorpe? Will wait for the call here first. It's a false start, which will back the Cardinals up. Aaron?
Well, Chris, Coach Kragthorpe had told us that Rick Pitino, of course, head basketball coach here at Louisville, one of the first people to come to his aid, come to his side when the fan base here at Louisville got kind of crazy. People started saying, we don't know if this guy's a good fit. Rick Pitino actually addressed some boosters saying, come on, I walk into the football stadium, people are booing. This is not what you should be doing. You don't know what this guy has had to deal with. And Kragthorpe, of course, telling us he's really appreciated that. Rick Pitino having to deal with some hard times, of course, with the Celtics. And also here in Louisville, because things aren't going well for this basketball team. They've had a couple of injuries as well.
And a crucial mistake, and we'll see if they can keep the drive going on 3rd and 6. Braun pressured, spins away. They'll try to run for it. And he gets near midfield for a first down, and a flag comes in late along the sidelines where the tackle was made. Joe LaFedge, the freshman safety, forcing him out. Braun nearly sacked. Shows a little bit of mobility. Jamal Westerman got in there, the defensive end.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. Late hit out of bounds to number 26. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's on LaFedge. Take another look here along the sidelines.
Yeah, and again, Doug, you're able to get pressure with just a 4-man rush here. Nickel defense out of bounds. Big play, though. How about Brom stepping up, making something happen with his legs?
And protection was not good. He should have been sacked. He avoided, got out of there. It was man-to-man coverage underneath with 2 deep behind it. The most difficult coverage to throw the ball against. He made a play.
LaFedge only got him about a step out of bounds, but it moves the ball to the 36 of Rutgers. First down. Play action fake. Brom, no one to throw to, and he's dropped. Gary Watts got him. Second sack of the night for the Scarlet Knights as we check quickly back with Reese.
All right, Chris, we told you about the wrestle for the ball on the sidelines. Dallas did.
Texas Stadium, 0-8 in his career. On 2nd and 13, Brock Bowen in the game, and now another whistle.
Dead ball. Delay of game on the offense. Number 12. 5-yard penalty remains. Second down.
Ron was telling us, guys, that Rutgers makes changes after you audible. They change their defense. It's a little bit of a chess match here.
There's a definite chess match going on where whoever has the chalk last is how you describe it. You may audible. They may change their coverage. You may go to a second audible. The trick there is to use some dummy audibles and some quick counts so they can't change up their defense.
Yeah, Rutgers defense gave Louisville all kinds of problems with that a year ago, especially in the second half. All kinds of problems for the Cardinals defense tonight in the first quarter.
I do. I'm with you. I mean, you got to do something. What about you, Flutie, man?
Right.
Absolutely. They got 3 more.
4 downs.
Well, I mean, 2 more. Yeah, you got to keep going. Don't give it over unless they take it over.
On 2nd and 18, Braun in the gun, fires complete over the middle. And it's a short gain for Barnage, the tight end. Also a senior. His 49th reception of the season.
And there's a play right there that looked like you're going to use all 4 downs to get it. You picked up a little chunk there, got yourself a 3rd and 9. You're not afraid to maybe do it again and get close.
Pick up the tempo, man. Get to the line of scrimmage. Change the deal. You had an hour-long quarter. You look terrible out there. You got to do something different with your offense, your defense.
Rice says, give me the rock again. Short come up. The flag comes in late. That was off the hands of Barnage on a crossing route. The flag was right at the point of attack. The pass rush, it'll go against Louisville. Wow. Yet another penalty against Brahms' team. 7 in the first quarter, 43 seconds. So this is not the kind of performance they were saying they were going to give on senior night.
So you had 3rd and manageable. Right now, all of a sudden, here you go with 3rd and long again. Self-inflicted wounds. This offense, this team just doesn't seem like there's a passion about their performance.
Well, there are excuses sometimes for a holding penalty, but the procedures, a delay of game, you're right, especially defensively, no emotion. Brahm on offense is the only guy, it's like, has to take it on his shoulders every week to kickstart this team.
Well, they need a kickstart because a lot of the folks, I think, showed up to pay tribute to Brahm and the 16 other seniors on senior night. Some of them have headed out of here already after the first quarter with what they've seen on defense. And now a timeout off the flag. We're determined to turn that around. Hasn't happened. And big play early for this offense at 4th and 8, or else Rutgers gets the ball back. Pressure. Brahm takes a shot downfield. Incomplete. Tyquan Underwood was turned around, covered by Devin McCourty. He was headed for the end zone. The throw was short of that, and the Cardinals turn it over.
You know, to finish off what you were talking about last year's game, Mike Till said that was the game. That was the foundation game. That was the building block for what they have now. And the confidence, just like on that play right there, 4th and 8. And this team, after that game last year and the upset, has built on that, and they believe they're one of the top teams in the country.
And meanwhile, for Louisville, with this stampede, you can see over here, this part of the Cardinal players caught up in this mess. After the celebration died down on the field, they go back to the locker room. They said like 3 Rutgers fans got in the locker room to taunt them. That's tough. 3 Jersey guys came into their locker room. They had to get the police to kick them out. Deal. Owen downfield, a looper. Britt trying to come back for it. No flag. Woody Tureen defending.
To me, like Tureen grabbed a hold of a little jersey or an arm there at the end of the play. Again, the corners are one-on-one on the outside, and Britt's an athlete now.
Hey, EA, what's going on at Louisville's bench? Is it under control? Is it just quiet?
It's definitely quiet. It's under control. Guys, honestly, they're more interested in standing over here by this heater than they are in really talking about what's going on 4th and 8. I got to be honest with you. Not much conversation, not much anything going on.
That's very revealing.
Does that say it all there or what?
It's not that cold. Underwood underneath has a first down across the 45-yard line. Terrence Butler forces him out.
You figure it's 4th and 8. You're trailing early. You're trying to get something going. You should be on the edge of your seat, on the sideline, yelling, whatever you can do to boost the confidence of the offense out on the field or get a part of this game. And we're standing by the heater getting warm.
I mean, 35. I mean, yeah, it sounds cold, but you're playing football. It's nothing like it was for Missouri and Kansas last week.
There's no wind. It's not that cold, all right?
All right, can I just interject? You guys are standing by a heater yourselves. It is freezing down here.
Tough it up down there. Let's go. Get in the game.
We have a little tiny, like 3-watt heater, Aaron. Don't get carried away. It's not like what you saw on the sidelines.
Hey, I got to tell you, too, that 3-watt heater of mine, I'm loving it over here.
This thing, this is our heater. This is in the interest of journalism. This is our little heater that she's so.
Hey,
we spare no expense. No expense.
This is my heater right here. This little light. Camera, we got it? This is my heater, friend. Thank you.
All right. All right, Nando.
You know what? We don't expect you to stand by the heater. We don't expect them to stand by the heater. You got to stay in the game.
We're in it. We're in it.
2nd and 8. Early pressure, and Teal just throws it away. That was Malik Jackson off the corner there. And it'll be 3rd down as we check back for another update from the studio, guys.
All right, Chris, a perfect 70 degrees and comfortable here in the studio as we watch the Cowboys and Packers while we're watching you guys. Nick Folk has added his second field goal of the game, this one from 51 yards out. And you know, you went to the Packers-Cowboys game and the MLS broke out. They're just kicking to score all the time at 6-3 late in the first.
MLS, I like it. Keep you posted on the field goal duel. Field goals all the Cardinals have so far. Rutgers is getting in the end zone. Another chance for Louisville to show some pride on defense on third down. They bring pressure, and it's broken up. Willie Williams got the hand in there, and almost a sarcastic cheer from the crowd here. A stop for Louisville.
We're both looking at Willie and saying, man, if you don't bat that down, it's going to hit you right in the numbers. Try to catch the ball. But there was pressure on the quarterback. Willie got himself in the passing lane. Something positive.
Now here's what you're talking about. You know, you finally get a chance to go out there and make a play. A little blitzing, heeling out of there. He put the big paw up.
Big paw.
Yeah.
And Trent Guy, who got fired off the kickoff return team for a critical fumble against USF in the last game that resulted in a touchdown, is back to receive the punt. And Ito, who does all three kicking chores. An ugly-looking kick that bounces out of bounds at the 30.
We have a stop.
A stop for the Cardinals.
How about a high five for the offense?
Boys up 13-3.
All right, thanks. This is Allen. Nice run, barreling across the 45 for a first down. We know that for most of you, that NFL game is a little tough to find, so we'll keep you updated throughout the evening.
How about that? Finally, you get something that's positive. You get a chance to get a new set of downs out there. Allen, a versatile back. Get down the hill, man. Run at him.
Allen is a guy that hasn't had a big game as a tailback since September. He was the season's starting back at the beginning of the year. He's the leading rusher still, but he's been very unproductive the last half of the season. A chance to close it on a good note, and good effort, stays on his feet across midfield.
In general, they're doing a good job on first and second down, running the ball and gashing. I think Rutgers is paying more attention to the pass and giving you some opportunity in the run game.
Amazing what you can do when it's not 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 14, right? Just do
Don't be
something
jinxing them now. No penalties, no, just 4 or 5 yards in the crowd.
And the speed of Rutgers doesn't allow right now anything on the perimeter, so you got to go down the hill at them.
Allen still in the game. He's got it again, hit quickly, but able to hammer ahead. Justin Francis, initial contact. Kevin Mallis, the leading tackler, there to finish him off. West Virginia clearly winning the conference, and that's why all the bowl bids can get lined up in the league, because West Virginia has won the conference title, the BCS championship game if they beat Pittsburgh, or the Orange Bowl if they would lose that game, and then no one else is BCS eligible, so you can immediately get all the bids lined up, and they have in this league.
And no conference championship games.
Right.
That allows it all to end this week.
What do you think about that? The Big East and perhaps the Big Ten, if Oklahoma beats Missouri, two teams for the championship game, neither has a conference title game, as Braun spins free and gets inside the 40, and a good pickup on third down, and crowd starting to get into it. There's signs of life from this team on this possession.
And you were asking, though, about the Big
championship
East.
game.
Should they have one in the Big East and the Big Ten? Or?
Well, they're not enough teams in the Big East for it to make sense, but I just think that you have to look at it. If you're coming out of a conference like the SEC, the Big 12, it's tougher. It's that extra step. I mean, those conferences.
It can help you or it can hurt you. You know, having Ohio State. Ohio State's sitting at home right now. They don't have to worry about anything. Maybe let everybody else fall back to them.
Yeah, clearly helps Ohio State. Braun, play action down the middle. In traffic, it's Barnage inside the 10.
That is a big-time throw and catch right there. Tight coverage, standing in the pocket with people in his face. Great throw, an excellent catch, and hang on to the football.
But why did they have the opportunity? They had the opportunity because of the play action, because of the success of the run. The previous three, right side of your screen, tight end down the middle of the field. Behind the linebacker, safeties didn't get over in time. Great throw. How about the touch to get it in there?
Oh, great throw. I mean, that's covered. That is covered. He put the ball a little bit towards the back shoulder to give him an area to reach for the ball, and he completes the pass.
First and goal. You're right, Rankert was all over Barnage in that play.
With safety help over the top.
That's a throw the scouts here tonight will like. Allen goes airborne. Short gain to the 6.
And I asked Jeff Brom, the brother and coach of Brian if he was going to play in the Senior Bowl. And they've been invited, obviously. And I just said, my opinion is, like Phillip Rivers has done, there have been many quarterbacks and players through the year. They go to the Senior Bowl and they solidify. They really impress.
Well, you get an opportunity, like you said earlier to me, to get in front of the coaches and let them see it rather than just the scouts.
Well, the coaches always want you to play. It's the agents that don't want you to play in those All-Star games. On 2nd and goal, Brown will take off up the middle, diving for the end zone.
Get on my back, guys.
The reason for the Brom clan to smile. This guy's made a career of throwing for touchdowns, not many rushing. Showed a lot of grit on that drive, though. The key scramble on the 3rd down.
We had
touchdown.
Louisville a few weeks ago at West Virginia. They got down big, but they showed character to come back in that game. So we know they've got the
And he did it there, too. He 2 third-down conversions so far tonight with his legs and getting in the end zone there. Not just getting down to the 1, making sure he got in.
And the record-setting kicker Carmody able to boot it through. Now Brian Brown just 3 of 8 throwing, but a couple of big runs, including a touchdown, and signs of life from the men in black.
Well, it's senior night here in Louisville, and Brian Brom helped cut down the deficit by 11. And, you know, head coach Steve Cragthorpe said, despite all the bumps that this football program has gone through this year, those bumps have shown the true Brian Brom. He has been absolutely positive all season long. There's been no finger pointing. He's really bounced back well, and that's one thing that all these coaches that we've talked to here at Louisville feel will really help him in the NFL. Because you got to think, the team that picks him hasn't had a good season in the NFL, so he's going to have to deal with some bumps in the road with this pro team as well.
That's a good point, Aaron. Thanks. Kickoff. Taken by Brown. Muffed it. It rolls back in the end zone and he'll take a knee. So Rutgers will start at the 20-yard line with an 11-point lead now as we check back on the guys in the studio. An update from the NFL game. First empty possession the last time they had the ball. Get it back at the 20 at 21-10. Pressure up the middle. And there's a hole for Rice. Weird start to this game. It's Rutgers doing it with the pass and Louisville with the run. A complete change in expected offensive personalities.
I think. Go ahead, Craig.
Let me show you, though, really, when you design a defense, what you've got to do here. You're going to have some stuff happening on the inside, but 34, Buchanan has got to come up from the safety. You're going to get all this stuff happening up in here. But 34 back in the middle of the screen, he's got to fill. That's his man. That's his hole. Get up in there. That's you. Don't sit back there and wait on him 5 yards deep. You can't hold that on Mike Cassidy, the coordinator. Buchanan's got to get up in there and hit face mask.
He's an ex-cornerback who's moved to free safety and did a decent job. They say he's improved a lot. Did Rutgers draw the defense offside there? Louisville thinks so.
Prior to snap, on the defense, number 92, into the zone, made the offense jump. A 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Willie Williams guilty. We'll give Rutgers a first down, already the 7th penalty tonight.
All I know, Coach, is the right guard jumped. He moved. The right guard moved. Now, whether I drew him off from the defensive side or not, he moved. He's not supposed to move. That's procedure to me.
It's Anthony Davis, the freshman right guard, just turned 18 years old. Big future for this guy. You play that position as a true freshman, you're a man. You are, especially at 18 years old. Underwood in motion. Teal looking downfield, takes a hit as he delivers a strike. And getting up near midfield. John Russell on the stop. Miles on the pressure.
Quarterback tonight stepping up in the pocket and having time to throw the ball and looking really good would be called Mike Teal.
Having all day to throw. Buchanan was the backside safety. Not actually taking a hit there by Miles. But on the backside safety, you can cut that route a little bit. Buchanan, again, just a fraction late getting there to make the big hit. He wasn't actually the individual cover guy that had an opportunity to break on the throw.
Teal 9 for 14.
If you've been able to throw like this all year with a healthy thumb, this would have been more effective offense, that's for sure. And the bread and butter. Rice to the 45, a downhill run of about 7 yards.
Teal looked this way early in the season throwing the football for sure.
All year he's just been really efficient and makes good decisions, doesn't turn the ball over, a good leader. You know, when you talk to him in the meetings, you can sense obviously he's in control of the team and the huddle. Races the heart, but he's in control.
Shiano said it the last time we visited with him, that it's great when your quarterback emerges as the leader, as the guy. It happened on its own.
That catch putting Underwood over 1,000 yards for the season. He and Britt were in a race to get to 1,000 yards first. This is Rice is way over 1,600 yards rushing. Tough run, first down at the 40. The flag coming in. Nice little competition. Britt and Underwood, you know, both guys with any kind of success tonight, we're going to get to 1,000. Underwood had a lead of 31 yards over Britt coming in. Britt had a couple of early catches, and he just needs 9 more to get to 1,000.
Dead ball, personal foul on Rutgers, number 88, 15-yard penalty. Ball be placed after the first down, making it 1st and 25.
Speaking of Britt, he called a personal foul on the receiver.
Well, Mike Cassidy was talking to us about having to get negative plays in order to get their stops. There's a big negative starting 1st and 25. I still didn't see what actually happened here with Britt.
I think he blocked late after the whistle, and a low top left of your screen. Have a chance to see it if we can get back to it here. Top left up there, you see it? Top left. Oh, no, top. The other top left.
The other top left.
It's 1st and 10, not 1st and 25. Dead ball foul, knocks the ball to the 45-yard line. And Teal delivers. That's Britt in traffic, redeeming himself for the penalty, and that will put him over 1,000 yards for the season. Buchanan made the stop, 16 on the reception. Aaron?
Chris, you mentioned that friendly competition between these two wide receivers. They both were telling me before the game, you know, they really compete with everything, whether it's who dates the better looking girl, yes, or, you know, who gets these yards. And Britt told me, look, Underwood is older than me. I'll give it up to the old guy. I hope he gets it first. I'm looking out for the older guy.
Don't let him fool you. He wanted it first, you know it.
This is Underwood, the junior, in motion on the same side as the sophomore Britt now. Teal looks short, flips it off, shoved out of bounds. It is Britt on the catch.
Didn't the official say it was going to be 1st and 25?
I think he misspoke.
I'd say that's about as close as you can get, right?
Yep.
They got to have something riding on the end of the season now for yardage.
Touchdowns are even, too. Who's going to get the next touchdown?
Well, right now, I think Louisville's defense, you know, they're moving up front in the pocket a little bit, putting some pressure, but the secondary, especially the middle level, not recognizing and matching up when the receivers come across them.
2 tight ends, 4 in the play clock. Rice, his knee went down. He got frustrated, just banged into the backup blockers, but his knee was down at the 35, so they'll lose a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and medium as we check one more time with the studio. Reese, what's going on? I'm not sure it makes Notre Dame fans feel any better to see all the ex-Irish guys scoring touchdowns in the NFL.
They just wanted a few this year.
3rd and 6. Bunch formation on the left side for Teal. Plenty of time. Batted, almost intercepted. John Russell, the safety, the nickelback, close to intercepting it. Malik Jackson has had that long season we talked about, deflected the pass.
Hey, you know what? But that's a way you come in, and the secondary matched up better. You saw black shirts finding white shirts.
On all the little crossers coming underneath, banging receivers, disrupting routes. Teal had to hold the ball for a fraction of a second longer. It actually threw in towards coverage there. The ball was deflected. Should have been picked.
And now Jeremy Ito, the very effective senior kicker, will attempt one of the longest field goals of his career. This is 52 yards, 1 yard short of his career long. Not going to get there. Just out of his range at a cold night, so 5:07 before halftime. And Brom will get the football back down 11. We asked you earlier our Affleck trivia question. And you got to be hardcore. You got to be a member of the family to know this. And I'm not even sure members of the family know how many letters Oscar and his 3 sons have won.
Yeah, good point.
Take a guess?
Well, the first thing I noticed was that the Affleck duck was slow going across. So
he's getting a little old.
It's cold night. Duck's
Cancer is 13.
13 of those, huh? 13 letters. Pretty impressive. I think EA, she may know the next Brom to be.
There's another one on the way. They got to be patient. Yeah. And a pass from Brian is batted down. They've mourned the fact that Oscar only had 3 sons to play football here, and one of the sons, Jeff, as the next generation. It's Brady Brom, and look at it, he's going to show him where the end zone is.
Good arm movement. You know that he's working on the speed, carrying the ball,
running,
find the end zone, pay dirt.
Young man, this is what the idea. Get to the painted area here. Huh?
He's pointing at the fans there. He's giving them the point.
Brady's going to be 3 in December. They only got to wait about 15 years here, right? And they got another Brom in the program, maybe. On 2nd and 10, they try the draw, fools no one. Allen dropped for a loss. Aaron?
And I talked to Grandma Brom, of course, Brian's mother, Donna, about Brady and his progress at 3 years old. How's he looking? What's the scouting report? And she said, Grandpa Oscar, he's not letting up on this 3-year-old. They're working on routes. They're working on throwing the ball. Grandma's got to tell him, lay off a little bit. Come on. He's 3 years old, but he's got the touchdown dance. I know Flutie loves that.
Is he on his supplements yet? And get them on that weight program and get them
Just
going.
throw it in the bottle. No one will know. Come on.
On 3rd and 12. There must be some service out there rating the top 3-year-old prospects, right? Somebody's got to be making a living doing that. Brom almost loses the football, able to tuck it away just before he gets sacked. Pressure from Brendan Rankart initially, and the frustration for Brom, an empty possession. Cardinals need all the points they can get in this game.
And following up on the grandson, how about Grandpa Brom saying he needed to lose a few LBs to make sure he was around in the future, coach him up and go out and watch the summer practices?
That'll keep you young, huh?
He enjoys sitting in the stands and watching all the boys practice, so he'll be there ready to root them on again.
Oscar was watching the practices. Every throw Brian made in his final week of practices here, he was on the practice field watching. This is Mason Robinson up near midfield, and the Scarlet Knights will have about 3.5 minutes to work with before halftime to try to build on their 21-10 lead. Jeff Brom, certainly Brian Brom's jersey.
Of course, that means the bread and butter, Ray Rice, on the field. He told us this year he's definitely felt the target on him. And it's been the most difficult year for him because of that. We asked him why, and he said, well, a lot of guys are trash talking, and he's also felt like he's had to carry this team. He's taken a lot of hits. His head coach, Greg Schiano, said this guy was in the best shape of his life coming into this season. He's trained like a maniac. Doug, you touched on Ray Rice's thighs. We saw them in practice. They're enormous. The guy lives in the weight room. He gets massages, and he should. He's carried this team.
I was nowhere near his thighs. I did not touch his thighs. I mentioned.
Touched on, I think.
Touched on.
And it was kind of a weird deal because we were asking about his thighs, and he comes walking over and he pulls his shorts up. And I mean, they were large.
Bodybuilder type.
Yeah, large thighs. And and from a pro standpoint, the question on him is whether or not his body, being a smaller guy, can handle the pounding of the NFL. However, being small and compact, I think he can handle it.
Look at him driving those thighs. Ray Rice banging to the 35 for a first down. There's a reason why you do all those squats to build up those thighs, huh? Tough to tackle.
I guess if you're in the Big East and you're playing defense in the summer, you better work out, thinking you may have to worry about dealing with some thighs like that, Keith.
He's just built low to the ground and tough to get a good piece of.
Look at the thighs on that player, Keith.
Oh, Frank Broyles reference. I like it, yeah. Well, he's certainly as durable as any back in college football. And he's against another 300 carry season. This is Mason Robinson, the future of the Rutgers running game, still on his feet. Mason Robinson, the freshman from Somerville, New Jersey, shows his speed around the edge. He's only 180 pounds, and he'll get a lot more work next year. Reese, back to you for a quick update.
All right, Chris, coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, Lou will try to awaken a sleeping giant, and time for an upset. Miles to go until Les heads to Ann Arbor. We'll examine the latest on that and also keep you up to date on the Packers and the Cowboys from Big D. Mark and Lou here. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Lou can maybe get some help from Mark in that pep talk. It's going to take something to pull the upset up in Morgantown for the Panthers. Both of you are playing for a national championship bid. Rice again on first down. Look at the stiff arm. He just knocked John Russell to the ground. Russell hops up and jaws at him.
Yeah, at least John Russell got cloth and held him and went to the ground with him. Yeah, he was in. He went to it.
He went right to the spot. He saw it bouncing outside. He was committed to go make the tackle. Now you even have to accelerate more when you go to make contact and get a little lower there. He's a little high on Ray.
Yeah, but
he held on for dear life.
But then again, you know, as a defender, John Russell knows those thighs are going to be hard if you go bring that helmet into them legs.
Good job by Russell. No gain. Rice was 77 yards on 17 carries so far. Underwood comes in motion. Teal looks to the right side, fires over the middle. The tight end has it. Blocked to the 5-yard line, and he's been a weapon over the middle. First and goal.
He's a big body tight end, though. Boy, he's a weapon. The size of him, he's sitting it down. They can't find him, though. Couldn't close any closer than that. Buchanan was in the middle of the field.
Oh, the defense couldn't find him.
They couldn't find him.
Till finds him. How can the defense have gotten that?
He's 6'5", 250.
That's what I was saying. He's a big boy over there. Somebody lock on. Because they weren't anywhere near him.
This would be a really crucial touchdown for Rutgers if they could get it in here a minute 7 before halftime. Rebuild that lead, and they hammer number 27, and Ray Rice walks in for the hat trick in the first half. Touchdown number 3 right behind the freshman Anthony Davis. And that was a dagger for Cragthorpe's team after they'd gotten back into this game somewhat.
Well, if they'd eaten up the rest of the clock and scored, you're definitely down 17 at half. At least they scored with a minute to go, and Brom can maybe come on back down the field and cut into it. That's the only positive I can find.
They're reaching for positives right now. 20 rushing touchdowns for number 27. Ito tries to make it an 18-point lead. Good job by Andrew DePaula, the backup quarterback, pulling down the high snap there. As DePaula rolling out of the fake field goal. Good touchdown pass back in October against UMass. Favorite games as a kid. I liked USC as a kid, and Anthony Davis was one of the favorite players. And this Anthony Davis may have an NFL future, the way he's looked as a freshman in the Big East. Now Chase Daniel and Missouri, an underdog, but ranked number 1 as they head to San Antonio, Daniel's home state, against Oklahoma for the Big 12 championship, presented by Dr. Pepper. And of course, for Missouri, a chance to head to the Superdome for the national championship game against likely Big East champion West Virginia, unless Pittsburgh can shake up the world. I know we've had some upsets this season. If this team right here goes down to Pittsburgh, that's going to be the biggest upset of them all. I really believe that with all they had to play for, the way Pittsburgh looked.
Hey, I got a feeling that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You think?
Braun, batted down.
How about Oklahoma, though? You know what? Oklahoma is a team just been laying in the weeds here. Everybody's praising Missouri. Radford's getting better.
You sound like Bob Stoops now.
You know what? You know Stoopsy's in that locker room saying, guys, there have been a lot of upsets this season we've endured. Hang in there.
The amazing thing about these...
We cried on November 3rd.
Top 2 teams losing is these teams have lost some of these games. They're on their home field, including LSU to Arkansas.
And those are two unranked teams. That's what's been so special. We're not talking about, versus a ranked opponent.
Unranked.
So does that mean Pitt does beat West Virginia?
Yeah, that's exactly what that meant. And can you imagine if Pitt does?
Stripling on the screen falls out of bounds across the 45. We'll have a first down with 38 seconds in the first half.
If Pitt were to do that and Oklahoma win, Georgia, sitting at home right now, would be the next team in line for a national championship game.
But then it becomes the great debate. Why Georgia? They have 2 losses. Virginia Tech,
just according
USC.
to where
There's some
teams
really
are right now.
good teams out there with 2 losses.
So you guys,
some
you like the
lobbying
chaos.
going on.
You root for the
that,
chaos,
that
don't
would
you?
be absolute chaos.
You root for that, like a lot of people do, right?
Absolutely.
Brom, they fake the handoff, and he cannot take a sack. Brom twisted around. Scary looking play as Eric Foster got him, and the knee for Brom was wrenched. Looks like he's okay. The 4th time he's gone down in the first half.
Got that leg just
Was he
up.
not on the ground when that hit occurred?
Yeah, I think what happened was as he began to spin and to twist, Brian was quick enough to get his leg up off the ground and avoid that turf monster.
There's the spin.
Look at that twist. Move your leg. Oh, look how he
just
spin his
turned.
body.
Yep.
Excellent job.
But how about that hit? Where's the flag? 2 seconds late. I'm on the ground, 2 seconds late, hits him in the head. Anything else wrong with that play? What's wrong with this? Everything.
He blow to the head.
I would have thrown 4 flags.
Now Sylvester, the true freshman who came in and hit Brom after his knee was down. Tough time to take a sack, though. Now it's 2nd and 19. Back at the 37 with just 29 seconds to go. They have a couple of timeouts.
Just be careful with the football here. I know maybe screens, maybe what.
Be careful. Why?
The long. Yeah, I hear you. I'm still throwing it. I'm still throwing it, but I'm being cautious not to turn the ball over in these situations. You try too hard to make some plays here, you end up with an interception return.
Role reversal.
It's 2nd and 19.
You're always telling me, throw the football.
You're talking about a guy that averages almost 350 passing in the first half. And they hand it off. This is Harry Douglas. They haven't been able to involve the senior, the record-setting receiver here much at all in the first half. They give him the run. Devin McCourty forces him out. That used 6 seconds.
Okay, now you're in a manageable situation. Now go back to your attack. Good conservative play call. Still got yardage. Got yourself to 3rd and 8. Now go ahead and throw the ball.
I usually call you Hoss. You call me Hoss.
That's right, Hoss, because we reversed to catch that. It was very good. That's a nice job.
Third and 8. Pressure. Brom steps up, floats it, complete. Patrick Carter off and running. Touchdown. And Louisville, crucial touchdown just 11 seconds before halftime. The 30th pass to the end zone for Brian Brom this season. The 5th touchdown for Patrick Carter. Also a senior, has had kind of a quiet career, but a big highlight.
Boy, what a play. And he got a great block from his center. Came out a little late to buy a fraction of a second. That's why you let him score with a minute to go, so he had time to come downfield and score back. Make it a 10-point game at half.
You've never been a coach, have you? Carmody with the conversion, and Louisville get the football back to start the second half and made it an 11-point game with 11 seconds to go.
Well, this guy, Patrick Carter, had 4 catches for 48 yards against South Florida, and he's been coming on for them, right? Brom's going to the locker room. Maybe he's going to go in there and get his leg checked on. Maybe, different wrap job. Maybe the braces, that he had on is messed up, twisted under their pants.
He had only 60 yards passing before that 52-yard completion for a touchdown.
There's no quitting him, though, and he's shown it time and time again. Great job by Wood pushing the rush past him. See, that's from before.
Yeah.
That's from that hit before when he got twisted around and got hit late.
And that was the touchdown. Clearly, that knee isn't right, but this guy does not want to come out on senior night.
But you did see that he was able to step up and his legs were strong enough. And here's Carter averaging 13.8 yards per catch and having the speed and the stride, the explosiveness to buy a little carpet room over on the side to get to the side to get to the pylon for the touchdown. This is that play two plays ago where he went down.
And the late hit had nothing to do with the twisting of the knee. It was just the original part of the play there.
So Louisville able to make this an 11-point game. Todd Flannery to kick it off. As you might expect, he just kind of boots it along the ground, and eventually it'll roll out of bounds, which draws the 8th penalty of the first half.
Louisville, not a very disciplined half by them.
Now they've also given up 4 sacks to Schiano's defense. They're going to take a shot downfield. Look for Britt, but not well thrown.
Here comes your carries for your carry for
I was
Ray
thinking
Rice.
maybe dump a little screen to him and get the extra passing yards. You know, get a
I'm
chunk.
thinking about running the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the runner the yards.
I think there's more risk with 6 seconds left. Now, if there were 30 seconds left, I'd take a different approach. But with 6 seconds left, there's more risk in putting the ball in the air.
Here's Kenny Britt limping off the field there. They're aware of Brom being on the other side and how the game turned around in their favor a year ago at home, and they're not going to sit on this lead. And they know they may need some more points, assuming Brom can come out in the second half.
Boy, what a touchdown that was, though. That gives them hope in that locker room.
3 touchdowns in the first half for Ray Rice, tying his career high already. 28-17 for the Scarlet Knights, the underdogs in this game. To Reese, Mark, and Lou for the Pontiac Performance halftime report. So a touchdown much needed. Brian Brom tweaking that knee late in the first half. He's back out. Should be raring to go. The Cardinals will get the football to begin the second half. A little bounce in Brom's step. He just needs a few stops on defense as Rutgers forced to punt only once in the first half. 4 touchdowns. Howell takes the short kick and gets to the 35-yard line. All right, got a couple of geniuses up here. They're going to make our Home Depot coaching adjustments and figure out what needs to be done for Louisville, mainly in the second half here.
Well, Coach, I do believe that if you're at Rutgers, you need to give a little more Ray Rice to football, right? And if you give more Rice, you're going to have more success. Ray Rice in the first half, again, 3 touchdowns. Strong, get to his legs. The defense is there. They've got to tackle low. Get to his legs. Otherwise, if you're on defense at Louisville, you got to come with more pressure. You can't sit back. Sitting back's done you no good.
It's Bowen. Patiently waiting. Nice gain on first down. Picks up about 7 before Malice stops him. Aaron, how does Brian Brom look coming out of the locker room?
I got the thumbs up from him. I got the thumbs up from head coach Steve Kragthorpe on Brian Brom. But actually, the training staff very concerned about him when he came off the field after it looked like he twisted his knee. He was complaining about the part right above his ankle. They ended up doing x-rays. Thankfully, they came out negative. Nothing's wrong with him. They just said they just readjusted his taping and everything like that, but he's good to go.
Last thing he wants is to come out on senior night. Bolin again. Bolin to the 45, 2 running plays and a first down. Brom was sacked 4 times. So he took a little bit of a beating here as he has last couple of games.
So they kept bringing the pressure. Some were zone blitzes, some were all-out blitzes, some were 4-man rush.
But you know what he's got to keep doing? He had a couple of times that he ran the football. Remember, some third down conversions?
Yeah.
Brian's got to be more maybe mobile, get outside the pocket, create some opportunities.
Well, he looked a little gimpy by the time he came out, so the mobility may be cut down a little bit.
That was on the touchdown, 52 yards to Carter. Before that pass, he just had 60 yards passing. 112 and a half, very low number for him. But as long as Bowen's running it effectively, they'll stick with that. He picks up about 3.
Exactly. They're very efficient running the football right now. Bowen's looking strong, doing a good job up front.
That left side of the line, pushing the pile. Now, 7 carries for 83 yards to Mr. Bolin. I mean,
Louisville's out rushing Rutgers right now.
They started right from the beginning, too. They gashed them. Bolin took off on that long run, and that's encouraging. If Brom doesn't have to throw back, drop back and throw it on every down, they've got a shot.
Drops back on 2nd and 9, ball out. And it's recovered by Rutgers. Gary Watts recovers the fumble. The blindside hit by Eric Foster forces the turnover. And that first of the game.
Boy, it's only a 4-man rush. The O-line's got to protect a little better. Brom gets hit from the blind side. The ball comes out. I'd like to take a peek and see if he got his arm moving forward. I don't think so.
Well, I know we're looking for it right now to come up with that shot. But the left side of the line, left guard, left tackle, just didn't get out of the stance. You see the left side over here. And it's just the pressure and the push. That's a fumble.
That is a fumble all the way.
And whistles are blown. Let's take a look at it.
Play is under review.
Well, you have to take a peek.
Alarming that Louisville's defense has a total of 8 quarterback hurries on the season. I don't know who's keeping the stat. Maybe they've been credited with a few more than that, but 8 for the season?
Tough graders.
Foster's got double that by himself. First down. Rutgers trying to build on an 11-point lead now. First time they've had a drive start in the Louisville end, and here goes Rice. Bounces it. Short game. Earl Heyman on the stop. Rob never saw Foster coming. A challenge for that upbeat mood, that maturity that he's shown that his coaches and his brother Jeff talked about.
Hey, it's easy to be positive when you're a front runner and things are going great. It's in times like this when the team's struggling, when you're behind again, to continue to stay positive and motivate the players around you and play good football.
Character's revealed when you're down, right? When adversity's in your face.
Well, this is a character test again for the Louisville defense. It hasn't exactly passed a lot of those this year. Underwood comes in motion. And they brought a blitz up the middle. And Rice is stopped for about a 2-yard gain. Preston Smith, linebacker, filling.
And, you know, a little more passion out there on everybody. You know, if you're a senior, this more than likely is your last game on the field.
We talked about how busy Rice has been. This is, you know, coming into the game, 845 rush attempts in the career. That's a boatload, Craig.
Yeah, that's a lot of carries in a 3-year period, mind you, right? You know, and so there's no doubt that he's got some experience.
Some of the seniors on this defense, Williams, there's Malik Jackson. 3rd and 5, a chance to get a real important stop following the turnover. Shotgun. Excellent protection all day, and he flips it short, but short of the first down. Wait, they haven't blown a whistle yet, and Britt is running for the end zone. The official on the spot never blew the whistle. Rutgers is in the end zone. This place is stunned.
Well, you know what, Doug, you know, we're sitting up here and we're clapping each other like, hey, they finally come out and they match up underneath. Knees down.
They went a 3-man rush, decided to cover. The ball's thrown, and they come up and make the tackle to make the play to get off the field, and then we see him running down the field.
Another look.
Here comes the spin where the leg comes down.
That knee's not down there.
That had
what
light,
about,
didn't it?
What about initially, right now, coming down?
That's it.
That looks like a knee on the ground. There you go.
Knees down.
The defense just stopped playing, assuming the tackle had been made. There was no whistle, which is why they can review this.
That's conclusive.
On the ground there?
You think?
That's ground and cloth for me. Question whether or not he was down?
No, not at all.
Review. The call on the field is reverse. The runner's knee is down. It'll be 4th down. Please put 11:39 on the clock. Thank you.
But you've seen guys jump into a pile, go over the top, come down on someone, get up and keep going.
That's it.
It's slam down.
Yeah.
All right, creates a 4th down.
Yeah, so it'll be 4th down. Now Rutgers' offense is on the field, so Louisville not out of the woods yet. It'll be 4th and 6 at the 44.
It's Thursday night.
Schiano wants to turn it up on Thursday night.
Game clock should be 11:29. 11:29 on the game clock.
Teal takes a shot downfield, but wide open for a touchdown. Take that. Woody Tureen is beaten. Cragthorpe gets a break from the replay reversal, and the very next play, the corner toasted as Kenny Britt comes up with his second touchdown catch tonight.
Well, he had about 6 to 8 yard separation there.
Well, you know what? You know what's bad is when announcers have the air go out of them on a play. You know that bench and that team. Hart left. Great shot.
Season of great expectations. This team was ranked number 10 in the preseason. On their way to a 7th loss, barring a big comeback, as Rutgers cashes in the Brom fumble. Teal having an awesome night throwing the football. Britt
in pregame, and I got to the top and I looked at my teammates and go, y'all know that was Johnny Unitas? I mean, it was just like, you know, walking on water guy.
Absolutely.
I don't have a Unitas story, sorry. Bilal Powell hammered at the 27 yard line. Louisville gets the ball back and down 18 again as we check back. Sure, in control of that game with Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for Green Bay. Powell around right end, a flag down after a nice pickup on first down. Flag in the Rutgers secondary.
Best receiver in pro football, Doug. I think I'd take T.O. over Randy Moss.
Randy's having a heck of a year. Tom Brady throwing the ball to him. I don't know if it's because it's Tom throwing to him.
Holding on the offense. Number 27. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the infraction. Replay. First down.
They got the freshman Doug Beaumont there, which wipes out the run on first down.
I've seen 2 guys draped all over Randy, and Tom throws some balls up to him towards the end.
See,
he
that's
just goes up and pulls him
Most
down.
of the time when you watch T.O., guys aren't good enough to stay draped on him. I'm serious.
No,
the guy's a beast running routes.
I'm talking like a 2-deep coverage. Both safeties closing on him, and Tom.
See, you're watching New England. I live in Texas, and I watch T.O. all the time.
Okay.
So I guess
we'll put their highlights up against each other. All I know is
either one of them.
Tom makes everybody look good.
Well, I'm a college guy, so I'll tell you, this is the 10-year anniversary of the first MAC championship game when Moss was one of the best college receivers I've seen it in 20 years doing this. Caught 3 touchdown passes from Pennington, and Marshall won the very first MAC championship game 10 years ago this year.
Offsides on the defense. Number 92. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Well, when you talk about hands and the strength and the softness, we've seen Randy Moss make some catches on the tips of his fingers. And holding on and getting his feet in bounds.
I just know that if he's one-on-one, I'm throwing the ball to Randy Moss. If there's a second guy over there, I'm thinking about throwing the ball to
tips of
Randy
his fingers.
Moss.
I mean, just.
You meant what you said. The Randy Moss story is that he was in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony the year that Woodson won, and those guys were not used to the big city at that time. And now they're all superstars, got a lot of money. They were at home everywhere. But he and Mr. Woodson, not so much at home in the bright lights of Manhattan. They were at a Hard Rock Cafe. At the end of the night, it was a Heisman function that had happened, I think, the night before the trophy was handed out. And both those guys were lost. Had no idea how to get back down to the athletic club. And here I am, running around, like cutting through the streets, trying to fetch these 2 college kids a cab who were going to like be in the limo set very soon, a few months after that.
Good. Papa Fowler.
Ron Chase gets away. There's a pirouette, and that's for the best thing that could happen, an incompletion, because
63 is 25 yards downfield when that ball was thrown.
That would have come back.
Watch.
This guy here on the left guard here, 63 down the field. It'll take him a week to get his feet back. Barlow's down the field. Danny Barlow.
He's still got
this double spin move from Braun there.
Great effort to get rid of the football. Great effort. Save themselves some yardage.
Yeah.
Avoid the negative plays.
Much
Stays
better to be 35 and
then
he completed that pass.
It's kind of awkward to see the ball thrown in a number 63, 20 to 25 yards downfield.
Big time desperation time. See if those guys up front, Barlow and company, can protect Braun. Rutgers doesn't really pressure much. Barnage has a first down catch to the 45-yard line.
You know, we're just sitting here talking a while ago. At the time, what, 28-17. And you think maybe that Louisville might be able to get back into the game, and then they have a blow up on a 4th down.
Well, turnover first.
You get turn the ball over. You thought you had a 3rd down stop, and you wind up having it, and then a 4th down conversion ends up a touchdown.
Powell shows the shiftiness as the freshman Gets around the corner and has a first down inside the 45 of Rutgers.
He's got some shake to him now. He's looked good on kick returns and carrying the ball out of the backfield.
Well, like Ray Rice, when he bounces around the corner, if you don't get to good running backs' legs, they're going to continue to buy space. See how he has a chance to get away from the tackle on the legs? You've got to tackle through the legs of good ball carriers.
Scott Long, 84, did a great job of chasing his man down and allowing the ball to bounce.
Well, Powell was a big high school stud at running back and defensive back in Lakeland, Florida. He came here initially as a defensive back, and now they've made him a running back, and you can see why they need him on the offensive side of the ball. They need him on defense, too, but maybe he can go both ways.
Did you see the size of the running lanes on that play, though? It was spread across the field.
He took hit in the leg there, and Powell is down.
Let's go. Good.
It's a guy that they have fast twitch, as they say, explosive runner.
You see that on the shake move. You know, the little bounce, the quick jab step and bounce outside, the acceleration, explosion. Boy, can Steve Kragsdorp have any more setbacks here with Powell going?
Yeah, they hope it's not his knee. He had an MCL strain early in the season that kind of set him back, and that's why only now he's becoming more of the featured back, and that would be the concern if it's a re-aggravation of the knee. We can't tell yet. Of course, Win and You're In Saturday continues on ESPN and ESPN.
I think Mayday would have to go back and help out on that Pitt offensive line in this ball game. And you know for a fact, West Virginia's players are focused. They're not going to overlook this game.
It's Douglas on the end around, taking the handoff, and Harry Douglas lowers his shoulder for a short gain. Boy, this is a guy that's had a great career here catching passes. Haven't been able to get the ball to him. He's been closely watched. He's carried it a couple of times.
You know, we've watched plenty of film on Harry. He's so great in and out of cuts, his quickness, his speed, but they love his work ethic here.
And he had to overcome a turf toe injury, which really hurt him coming in and out of those breaks for a while. About 90%. Kragsdorp says he's almost back to 100%.
Especially Douglas had an ankle. Urudia had a turf toe on the other side. Both their receivers have been banged up this year, but no catches tonight for the guy that had 70 coming into the game. This is a short gain on 3rd and 2. Bolin tripped up by Rinkart. He's near first down yardage as Rinkart loses his hat.
Go back, though, and you think about this game. I mean, you know, Rutgers seems to be blowing out Louisville, but Louisville's really kind of in the game, right? And we saw this Louisville team a few weeks ago come back at West Virginia in a tough environment and got back in the game, tied it up in the 4th quarter.
And you know Rutgers realizes Brahms on the other side and has that explosiveness to him, and that this Louisville team can put points on the board. The question is, will their defense give them the ball back once in a while?
Or how about once?
They need about a length of the chain. It'll be 4th down and inches, an obvious go-for-it situation. The linemen are down there signaling go for it. You don't think they figured that out in the sidelines? We got to go for it.
Hey, normally I call for a quarterback sneak all the way.
Yeah,
normally. It depends on how strong Brahms' knee is. Yeah. He's jogging out on the field pretty strong. Just get the first down.
I was just waiting for you. I gave you an opening, Flutie Flex.
To go for the play action.
Tight end down the middle.
Come on.
With the way things have gone.
Really? You're out of your mind.
No, we're getting the first down here. We're sneaking it there in the double gaps, though. They bounce the ball to the outside. Oh, no.
He's got it on second effort. Boom! Flag comes in late. Did they hold on the quarterback sneak? Maybe. Or did they get a grip of the face mask?
That's what Brian's saying. Brian's saying you got a little bit of this mask over here.
You're right that he was stopped the initial sneak.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense. Number 17. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Maso Munoz guilty of the 15-yard face mask. Brahm took a crack here, huh?
Yeah, Rutgers was selling out to stop the sneak. If he had taken this thing and jumped to the outside right away, he probably would have gotten the corner.
Boom.
A little smack across the head.
They're not afraid to hit you, are they? The Knights defense.
But you know what I love?
Helmet.
He ran the quarterback sneak with his head up and spun out of it and kept going. A lot of guys just kind of burrow in there and try to get the first down.
So first down, Stripling is the back. He's got it. Dances around, gets to the 15, a short gain. This is a Louisville team that's, you know, in terms of run-pass mix, they're one of the most heavily tilted teams in the country toward pass. But more runs tonight.
Yeah, well, they're running the ball, and they had to. They were getting beat up front. They couldn't do anything with a pass rush. of Rutgers. We've seen Rutgers work out too at practice, and the intensity of Greg Schiano and how hard they are and how hard they play.
With his defensive checks to formation and personnel groups and the emphasis he throws on the linebacker position to make all those calls.
You said he's taken away the passing game, what they've done here. Because you don't see ever Louisville with that kind of run-pass mix at all. 3 in the play clock as Brown drops back, flips it short, and stop for a short gain. There's Anthony Allen out of the backfield. So near the first down mark. Spot it back. I think it'll be 3rd and short.
I don't know, Doug. I think over here you got a little confusion on the right side. Look here, you've got guys running around. Just as we're praising Rutgers, they don't get lined up quite right on this play. And
there's no gap out here being covered.
No.
Look at that. If you take it
second guy in gets left alone, and he's by himself. Easy completion.
3rd, less than the yard. High formation, Stripling is the tailback. They clock running down. Stripling, not much, but enough for the first down. Ranked on the stop, 1st and goal for the Cardinals.
For me, Stripling is a guy that has a little more burst. You know, when I see him run the football, I feel like there's a guy that has a chance to get beyond the arm tackle.
Yeah, they've used him more as the outside runner, screen guy, catch the ball out of the backfield, elusive type runner.
Right.
That Powell was beginning to be there early in this game.
Now they've brought Brock Bolin, junior, back into the game on 1st and goal. And he's got it. Bolin, touchdown, standing up.
That was an impressive drive.
71 yards and 13 plays. Cuts into this Rutgers lead. Bolin, a nice night. 89 yards rushing now. Once again, Art Carmody, the lefty, the all-time leading scorer in Division 1A history, broke that record earlier tonight with a field goal. Knocks the PAT through. So, Louisville hanging around in the neighborhood midway 3rd quarter, down 11. 55,000 BTUs.
What does that mean?
Yeah, all I know is I was
really warm.
Very, very thankful for those heaters in Canada.
Mason Robinson corral. But speaking of Canada, the Grey Cup was this week. Who do we need to congratulate?
Saskatchewan, Ken Austin.
Rough Riders, 2 words.
Rough Riders. I believe that is 1 word. No, that is 2-word Rough Riders.
Over the Blue Bombers.
Over Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
We go.
A guy by the name of James Johnson had 3 interceptions in the game defensively.
Where did he play college? Give me a point of reference for that.
I do not know.
Rutgers back on the field, once again up by 11, 6-11 in the 3rd quarter. Mike Teal, really efficient. A yard away from a 200-yard passing night. And he's been waiting to get healthy and waiting to show this kind of passing ability. Brett has had a busy night already with 2 touchdowns and pushes out across the 35-yard line as we check in with Reese Davis. Not the
Al.
Oh, the throwing Samoan.
A couple throwing Samoans went up to the CFL and played, right? Did Jack Thompson play north of the border?
I'm not sure.
Michael Bishop's up there as quarterback, right?
Michael's with Toronto. He actually had a very good year this year, but had some injuries in and out of the lineup. But when he was healthy, he played very well this year for Toronto.
Good athlete in college, had a heck of a year. He tried New England for a while.
Yeah.
These folks never thought they'd get a CFL update sitting in.
There you go.
Wow. How about the Packers, though, battling back with the Cowboys?
How about the year Brett Favre's had?
The old guy with all the young guys, right?
He's not old until he hits 40. He's not even 40 yet. He's got about 6 more years.
I hope the injury's not too serious for Favre in the remainder of the season. This is Rice on 1st down. Patiently picks his way for about 3.
Been tough sledding for Ray Rice tonight. Normally when Ray has 20-plus carries, he's going to get one that pops for a big long run. 30, 40, 50, 22 carries now, 95 yards.
The problem was the one that popped was too close to the end zone.
Yeah. So Mike Cassidy was saying, you know you're going to get the 4 or 5-yard runs by Rice. You just want to avoid the 20, 25-yarders. Been pretty successful doing that so far. But he has found the end zone 3 times. You fake it to him, and Teal looking deep, firing for Britt. Over his head, Woody Serene, who's had a tough night on coverage. Aaron, Mike Teal, the thumb looks just fine tonight.
It certainly does. And when you guys talk about NFL greats, you know, a guy by the name of Phil Simms had something to do with getting Mike Teal's confidence back. Last year when he was struggling with a few things, Teal would call Phil Simms and ask him for some advice. You know, he trained with Phil's sons. Of course, Matt Simms back up here for Louisville. The two went to high school together, Don Bosco Prep. So Mike Teal sharing that with us a couple weeks ago, guys. The Simms family, somebody that's really helped him get his career back on track.
You know what, Aaron? You know, we've heard the story now several times where you have pro guys calling college guys, encouraging them, mentoring them. Tom Brady did it with Sean Glennon.
So Teal stay out of the game there. 2nd down and 18. And Jebu Lovelace is in at quarterback for the first time tonight. He's a situational guy. Usually a running quarterback has not thrown it very successfully. And check and see what the situation is with Teal as Lovelace does what he does best, and that's run straight ahead out of the shotgun formation across the 40-yard line.
And they say they have a small package for Lovelace, and if you're on defense, then you know something's coming on the ground more than likely.
Yeah,
right?
And they do have passes in. There's a holding penalty. This is a strange time to bring him in. And they've been back-to-back to the hold and long yardage situation. To take Teal out there, it was not the normal situation for Lovelace. You see Teal comes back in.
A lot of times the running quarterback will have a package coming into the red zone area or short yardage situation.
Of which we saw in their game with South Florida. Lovelace came in the red zone short yardage goal line.
Now it's 3rd and 9. With Teal in the shotgun. Again, plenty of time. Delivers a strike to Britt. First down at the 40. They cannot contain Kenny Britt tonight. 9th catch, 142 yards.
If for Louisville, danged if you do, danged if you don't. Now they're going to bring some extra bodies in there, but you got to have a sense of urgency. Up front, when you're coming in here and you're blitzing, it's imperative you go all out and you get to the quarterback. There's nobody even close to him, Doug.
Yeah, he's just sat in there, waiting for him to come into the window through the in route. The coverage, from a coverage standpoint, they rotated late to the coverage and did some good things there, but they got to get to the passing.
Lovelace back in quarterback now on 1st down. Under center. Handing off to Rice. Running through tackles, hammering ahead. Near 1st down. Rice gets a 9. Aaron, what's up with the quarterback rotation? Anything wrong with Teal's thumb?
Yeah, no, it's not his thumb. Trainers are either adjusting something with his padding on his left side. It either looks to be a hip pointer or his ribs. But there's definitely something going on with, his lower... Doing it again. Yeah, they're adjusting some part of his... It's not his thumb, guys.
That's a relief, because that thumb's been pesky.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Lovelace, you see, talking to Shiano, is Britt, who's been limping off a couple times. In between catching the 9 passes, he's been limping a lot.
He keeps slipping in and out. That's the old Jim Brown thing.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell, too. Remember him? He'd limp back to the huddle. Next thing you know, he's running over somebody.
During this match...
All week long, they'll be reminded of the need to continue to fight against cancer on ESPN telecast. Lovelace back in on 2nd and 2. Hammers for a 1st down inside the 30.
He runs with conviction, huh?
Yeah. Hey, man, my recollection of Coach Valvano, though, was 1983 when he won that national championship.
Right.
I was a Phi Slamma Jamma guy. Down in Houston growing up.
Yeah,
Cougars.
He broke your heart, did he?
I mean, man, I'm sitting there and I'm watching that game, and I could not believe when that shot went in.
I remember him saying, when you get that opportunity, make it last and give him something to get on film, and he sure did. Just the running around the court, the excitement, the thrill of that win, the huge upset that it was.
Derek Wittenberg, Lorenzo Charles, those guys combining for a play as Teal combines with Kenny Britt for another big play.
was the best
Slung out of bounds.
Best air ball in history, huh?
Yeah, well. And how much money, Chris? How much the foundation has raised to date? We saw it earlier somewhere.
No, tens of millions of dollars.
Lots of money. Lots of money. That's exact. Lots and lots.
And it'll lead lots more. So we urge you to continue to give until cancer is beaten. Bridges, 2 yards, picked up on his 10th catch, 2nd and 8. Rice bouncing ahead. He kind of had to shove big old Anthony Davis, number 75, who was clearing a hole, and Rice just kind of bounced into him and said, big fella, move forward.
A little bit more passion coming right now with that Louisville defense over there, though. I mean, boy, they are. The big fella, my bad. I got to get out of the way, but I got a lot of body to get out of the way, Ray.
If Anthony wasn't in the hole, he's got a lot more yards.
What a smile. Don't you like that? Hey, how about lots of money now? Here's what we're talking about. Over the years, $70 million. That's a bunch of money.
It's important that 100% of
100% go.
Right to research, yeah.
Like we said, a lot of money.
3rd and 4. Underwood comes in motion. And a false start. Yeah, old Ken Britch had a big night. He was eager to get downfield on that one. He came out of the starting blocks like a false start.
That's that Canadian start.
Yeah, here you go.
You must be listening to our Canadian conversation.
Prior to snap. False start on the offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains. 3rd down.
When you came back from Canada playing in the NFL and your receivers had to wait till you said Hut, did you ever get on for being slow off the line?
You know what, though? The receivers down here were running 4-3-4-4. Up there, you had the big Canadian slot back that runs a 4-7, 4-8, and he needed that rolling, so it was pretty equal.
So the rule makers know what they're doing up there, huh? Get more speed in the game by giving a running starter.
The fastest receiving core I ever played with was in Calgary, though.
That's not saying a lot, is it?
Pee-wee Smith ran a 4.26 in the 40.
Teal fires, complete. Underwood. Inside the 10, he's watched his friendly rival Britt have a big night. Underwood hasn't yet been able to get in the end zone. Stop there after a completion, which sets up a 1st and goal.
When you talk about next year in Rutgers, you should not be concerned about the efficiency of this offense. We know they're going to have a good defense. Mike Till, he's throwing the ball.
He's so efficient tonight. He's so relaxed, and a lot of that has to do with lack of pressure in his face. But it's just a very efficient passing game, converting 3rd downs, everything, the whole package.
This defense makes a lot of quarterbacks look good, though, fellas. It really does.
6 for 6 this drive.
1st and goal. Raves the tight end in motion. Stutter step from Rice, looking for a 4 touchdown. Stopped it before. Fair point. I mean, Louisville's defense has struggled so badly that everybody looks like a Hall of Famer against this defense for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. And, you know, every time that they've tried to dial it up in blitz, the Rutgers offensive lines held them out. Till's made them pay for it.
There's been precious little of that defense this season.
Yeah, Louisville had a great drive to come down and get themselves back in the ball game, and Rutgers just answering it with no question, no doubt, just taking it down the field.
No, and it was 11-point margin at halftime, and after the 3rd quarter, it's sitting right there with Rutgers threatening to add to this lead. 15 minutes to play in the final college game for Brian Brom. A very quiet night. Does the senior have some magic left in the final 15? So far, the Knights belong to Rice and the Knights. 5th quarter, Rutgers trying to get to 8 wins. They're international bowl bound. It's in Toronto after New Year's Day to take on an opponent from the MAC conference. Not a humongous bowl trip, a bit of a frustration, the Big East lineup of bowl bids. That'll be improved, they hope, the next conflict a couple of years away. In the meantime, Rutgers, good effort tonight, trying to build an 11-point lead as we start the 4th quarter. And Ray Rice, a loss. Now they bow up and still will fight here. Preston Smith on the tackle.
They have. In this series here, they have played a lot harder. Last year, we had a chance. Doug and I went up. We did this International Bowl.
Yeah.
Had a nice time. You know what? And they did. They supported. It was a good turnout at the game.
We had a pretty good football game, too.
They have a Canadian on the team, or at least a guy who played his high school football in Canada. Jamal Westerman, the defensive end, he was actually born in Brooklyn, hung out in Florida for a while, but they list Ontario as his hometown. Most
Most of the high schools up there play American rules football. There's American rules football that gets played, and there's Canadian rules football that gets played.
I'm going to hear more about that, but this in the meantime is a concern because Kevin Haslam is a backup replacing the starter and the senior Pedro Sosa, who trying to give it a go but had to limp off earlier. Now they're looking at the leg of Haslam. Take a look at that Applebee's weekend menu. We talked about win and you're in Saturday, and that applies of course to the Mountaineers. But it's a relief that game is being played in Morgantown on the nice rug and not at that disgraceful excuse for a field, Heinz Field, which is just beaten to death at the end of that. Was an unbelievable situation that I watched in the game the other night with the Steelers and the Dolphins.
Yeah,
that's a cow pasture.
Inexcusable for a professional stadium.
Inexcusable for college. Can you imagine if that game were scheduled at Pittsburgh, if they were the home team with everything on the line in that game?
Well, it'd be a way to slow
That's
West
my rant
Virginia
for
down.
tonight.
I hear you.
I would
it might be the only way they slow West
forfeit
Virginia
the game
down.
if you're West Virginia.
Yeah, right. So go ahead, take it.
Stay on the graphic here for a moment here. Virginia Tech, Boston College. We had that game on a Thursday night. Matt Ryan for 3 minutes came back, brought him out of the hole. You know what?
Yeah, a big part of that game was the weather, throwing the football, but Virginia Tech is playing
Now, don't start
better.
that reverse psychology on Virginia Tech, Mr. BC.
Okay.
I know you're
I just said
Fowler does
weather had a lot to do with that game, and then the weather cleared up a little bit, and Matt got it rolling near the very end and pulled it out.
Vince Hall's back playing now for Virginia Tech.
And Virginia Tech is playing very well right now.
But at the end of the day, though, Boston College, they'll be all right. Old Matty, he'll have them in the end zone.
You got Sosa back in there, the original starter on the offensive line on 3rd and goal. And they'll throw it. Teal whips it high, incomplete. Kevin Brock could not get the foot down. So they throw it. They don't give it to Rice on 4th and goal, and now the field goal team comes on.
He had a shot there. If Brock could have flattened it out a little more and come across, he stayed at a little bit of an angle, and Teal let him out of the back of the end zone.
Thought maybe the linebacker forced him to put the ball up a little bit.
78 field goals for his career is a Big East record for Ito. Almost automatic inside 40 yards. 18 of 20. This one from 21 yards. And the lead is 2 touchdowns now in the first minute of the final quarter as we check back with Reese. To install the offense that Daniel ran in high school so he'd be comfortable from day one. You watch him in person on the field, total command.
It's a coach on the football field. I mean, if there could be one in college, such a thing, it's Chase Daniel. The guy understands where the players are. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't panic.
40 of 49. I can't do that versus air. All right, so I mean, he obviously doing something right. And this year they got a running attack to go with their pass game that they didn't really have last year.
Is that a real Big East official sitting in the stands with the flag there, or is that imposter? Powell slips the tackle. Powell, the freshman, has room. Ito, the kicker, takes his knees out. But Louisville set up at the 44 of Rutgers.
He's saving it for the right time.
Hey, I'm not so sure what I'm more excited about if you're a Louisville fan and a coach, and particularly seeing Powell back on the field. Because remember, it wasn't that long ago that he was being assisted off the field with his leg injury. So obviously he's back doing okay here.
The Rutgers field goal, I think we got to view that as a half a stop.
Yes, exactly.
Keeps it within 2 scores.
It's a 53-yard return, guys. So this is not over yet. It's a 14-point game. 14:08 to play. Louisville's going to have to get a stop or 2 more, though. Powell stays in the game at tailback on 1st down. Not much. Pete Teverdoff, the junior tackle on the stop. Interesting game plan. I mean, you told me Brian Brown would have 7 pass completions through 3 quarters, only 15 attempts. And he doesn't play games like that.
Well, and if they would score on that and have 24 points on the board, I wouldn't have thought that would have happened.
A lot of what they do are run pass checks according to coverage. And the fact that Rutgers on that last play went a 2-deep coverage, 7 guys up front, a 7-man box, they ran the football.
Now in the shotgun. It's a screen underneath. Trent Guy. Tripped up, but he's inside the 20. So Trent Guy flashing the speed. 5'9" sophomore out of Charlotte, 26 yards.
You know what? When you start talking about an aggressive up-front defense, Rutgers, they've really been led into this play. They've set it up nicely by throwing the ball on the outside, throwing it up the field, running the football, then all of a sudden you get a little screen in there.
When you've got some pass rush, screens are the best thing to slow that down. The D-line turned to go, and Trent took off when he caught the ball.
Powell tries for the corner. Freshman in the end zone. What a run.
That guy number 33, he good. He can run.
Second touchdown of the season for the freshman. Has become the featured back late in the year after getting his knee healthy. The 53-yard kickoff return that set the drive up. And he takes it the final 18 yards. This is a one-score game with almost 13 minutes to play. Bobbled snap on the conversion, but they get it down, and Carmody boots it through. And Bilal Powell has drawn the Cardinals as close as they've been in a long time in this game. Knights get the football back, but now up only 7.
Looking for that.
And there's never a dry throw.
Gotcha. Caught you.
Keep the whistle wet.
We have no evidence that it was alcoholic beverages.
Absolutely not.
It may have been
little Kool-Aid.
Spring water.
Yeah, absolutely. Iced tea.
So Louisville needs a stop. Now down to 7, and this is Mason Robinson spinning across the 30.
You know what? This wasn't. Now, just a reminder now where this team's come from. They've been down before. 2 games ago against West Virginia. We were there. We did it Thursday night. Pat White broke their heart. Louisville was down 17 points in this game late, and they came back, tied the score late in the ball game. Pat White breaks their heart with a long touchdown run. So, again, hey, this is one of those deals. They've been there before. Defense got to bow up.
They did fight back. That was a tough one. It could have helped redeem some of the season. And that guy right there, Earl Heyman, took a lot of the blame for blowing an assignment on that touchdown run by White. Very tough on himself after that game. Whole tough year for this defense. And we'll see if they can get a stop here. They're going to throw it on first down. Teal hit as he throws. Incomplete. He was hammered. Preston Smith didn't get there in time for the sack. They haven't sacked Teal tonight, but he laid the wood. Hands on pads, and Teal is a physical, strong guy. A little slow to get up. So the misfire on 1st and 10. You go back to Rice now on 2nd down and 10?
I would. I'd get back to 3rd manageable.
And the hardcores who hung around to the 4th quarter making some noise. Rice on the delay. Just bowls ahead for about 8. It'll be 3rd and 2 as we check back with Reese and Mark for another update.
All right, Chris, Packers turned the ball over, got the turnover in the end zone, was able to do nothing with it. Cowboys got it back. They're on the move inside the 10-yard line right now as the Cowboys try to stretch out that lead. 27-24, under 9 minutes to go in the 4th.
Reese, thanks. This game has gotten close. If it were a horse race, the Cardinals would have stumbled out of the gate, gotten way behind, and now they're trying to go to the whip in the home stretch.
My money would be on 27 in a horse race.
They're going to throw forward on 3rd and 2. Teal taking a sack. L.D. Scott, first sack of the night for this Louisville defense, and the folks on their feet.
He left the pocket. He didn't have to, didn't he, Doug?
But again, I'm with you, Doug. I'm wondering here, a guy averages over 5 yards a carry, doesn't he? And we've done the math one time, and you do 5 times 3.
That's about 15. That's more than 10, isn't it? But that was a coverage sack. That was people covered downfield. Teal decides I got to move and try to make something happen. And eventually, we got a sack by Louisville.
Jeremy Ito. First punt was an ugly one off the side of his foot for 19. It's just the second time Knight's been forced to punt tonight. It's that rugby punt, but it's low and it's returnable. Douglas reversing field again. Harry just desperate to make a play on senior night. A whole lot of running around for nothing.
Well, sometimes you just got to know when your journey's over with, and you already had some field, and he did a great job of coming up catching a short kick.
It was a ball that could have rolled for a while. What was it that Pat White said after his fumble late in the game against Louisville?
He told Aaron after the game he felt bad because he had just gave the ball back to Brian Brom.
Well, Brian Brom's got the ball again and down 7.
Very quiet night again. Brom only 8 completions for 155 yards, 1 touchdown.
Hey, Aaron, I think the Louisville bench might be a little more lively.
Oh, yeah, they're jacked up over here. And it was funny watching Brian Brom when the defense was on the field. I mean, he was getting himself going, smacking himself in the head, jumping up and down. He was excited to get back on this field.
A little too excited up front. Now temper the excitement, huh?
Oh, take the wind out of the sail, guys.
Prior snap. False start on the offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Go back to that third down call. I mean, Ray Rice doesn't get the ball. He's been hammering ahead against that defense all night fairly successfully.
Always falls forward.
And you know what? Nothing. Sometimes we just mentioned not long, but certainly over 4 yards.
Instead, Teal sacked for the first time. Brown with a chance and a play-action fake on 1st and 15. Throws downfield. Great ball as Underwood had to go up had to go up and break up the pass.
Well, while you
the
clean
receiver
that
playing defensive back against Ron Giroux.
You heard Aaron say that Brom was over hitting his head, getting all jacked up. Wasn't long ago. Owen Schmidt, flashback. Huh? Remember this? That, to me, is the scene of the year. Schmidt, man.
How about the job of Rudy just did of knocking that ball down? And
great job. Wide receiver going up, making a play to prevent
potential interception.
Not a good throw by Brom on the run. Sets up 2nd and 15. Barnage over the middle, lowers his head. It's going to be 3rd and about 7 here.
Nice job. You know, Barnage is a dependable receiver, a guy that just usually is having the brackets on him and you can't get him open, but managing it, doing the game and playing it, not forcing it down the field.
Oh, the catch he made down the middle of the field. Barnage is a big weapon in this offense, and you're right. Get yourself in a manageable situation. Set up a 3rd down and 6.
Barnage number 6 in the country in terms of tight ends receiving this year. Crucial. 3rd down. Pressure. Brom gets it away complete. Fighting is Scott Long. Much more than a 1st down inside the 40. Brom just getting it away in time. It came hard in the blitz.
How do you judge that now, talent-wise, as a quarterback? Brian Brom backpedaling, buying just enough time to get the receiver ready to catch the ball.
You know you have crossers. It's man-to-man coverage. There's an unblocked rusher coming at you. By a fraction of a second so you can get the ball to the receiver. Great job putting the hand down and staying on his feet, getting extra yardage.
First catch of the night for Scott Long. Game is completely changed in the last few minutes, and now Powell leans forward for about 6. All of a sudden, the Rutgers defense on its heels.
Going back to the last play, though, a lot of times that's what you have to do. If you just stand there with your feet planted in the ground, that free rusher coming, the ball's got to go real quick, and the receivers really don't have time to get any separation or get across the field.
That's why, as a receiver, we were always taught you got to work hard for the quarterback. He's working hard to get time to get you the football.
Just that little drift. It was 1 or 2 steps. Buys that fraction of a second to be able to make an accurate throw.
See Craig Phillip with that firm jaw set there. This would mean a lot after a rough first season here to come back and beat Rutgers. And Powell takes off in the secondary. Powell got inside the 5. We were wondering, would this team show enough heart? They're showing it now.
Big fella, 72 up front, coming around, making a block. Roach was awesome around there to clear the way. And how about the patience and the discipline of the running in the open field?
Let him pull around there, and then bam, up through the hole. Great running. I love his instincts.
There's been no fold in these cards. You wondered, they were down 18 points in the second half here. Brought Bowen in. He's got it, and he's got an easy touchdown. And Louisville a point away. Conversion from the all-time scoring leader in MCA, Art Carmody, from tying this game. 3 straight touchdown possessions. Frustrating, embarrassing season for this team. Looked like it was going to be a punctuation right in line with that tonight. Carmody, who's knocked 112 PATs through in a row, gets it. And their old Kentucky home, there is life. We are deadlocked at 38. 8:37 to play. Subpar defense all season. Making just enough completions and leaning on a running game here as Rutgers gets the ball back and hammered as Underwood across the 30. So let's see what Rutgers will do now. They've been playing with the lead all night. First, we'll check in with Reese Davis.
All right.
$20. My game was with $100. 20 doesn't do it. I got nothing for you, Reese.
Don't look at me. Northwest Oklahoma State. I'd go Indians.
If you give us enough time, we'll do a Google search here. We'll get this thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, hey, Reese, how long do we got?
I tell you what, they got 8-11 in this game, and now all of a sudden there's some urgency here for Ray Rice and company. He picked up just 2 yards on first down. You do not want to give the ball back to Braum at this point.
Well, they don't want to go back to pass and have a jailbreak at the line of scrimmage for a big sack either. That's their concern.
Now they give it to Rice. Not on 3rd and 2 before. On 2nd and 8. Cox on the stop, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Again, the energy level now for Louisville from the kickoff, the way they responded after the big hit of the kickoff, these 2 defensive stops, all of a sudden there's energy.
Well, you know what, you got to have a little memory to you now if you're playing corner in Louisville right now, because we've seen Kenny Britt and these receivers run right by them. Louisville defense better watch out.
You see the guy with the flask?
Wow. Where's his flask? Yeah.
He had a flask.
3rd and 10. Incomplete. Kenny Britt looking for a flag, not getting one. John Russell, the safety in coverage, and a 3 and out. Braum will get that football back in a tie game.
One thing that we're seeing in the secondary now is recognition, Doug. You've got defensive backs finding receivers coming across the field.
Yeah, Russell did make contact up the field there on the break and coming out of the break, and then the ball was thrown. But they were able in the 3rd and long situation not to have to lock up man-to-man, play a zone, 4 cross quarters coverage, and have a shot at defending.
We've seen Ito try the fake before this season. Not here. No rugby punt. He just takes it and boots it straight away. Guy retreats to the 25. We called a fair catch. And so Braum will take over in a tie game as we go back to the head of the fan club of, what was it, Northwest Oklahoma Rowdy Rangers? Well, $20.
Well, it's because I got a couple of Fowler's trivia questions right, screaming at the TV, and he still hasn't sent me the C note yet.
Keep screaming. Keep screaming.
Powell. Bilal Powell having a big night all of a sudden across the 35.
The kid's got a hop in his step.
Well, I tell you who doesn't have a hop in their step right now is Rutgers. Look at the walking around. I mean, the defense right now is like there's no sick 'em. And now you got an offensive line that set their pass.
Watch the blow. He delivers a forearm at the end.
Greg Schiano has to regroup and get his defense on the field playing like they did the first 3 quarters of this game.
Well, I knew Powell was going to be a factor, guys. He had 96 yards rushing coming in. That's it. 101 tonight for the freshman, is becoming the featured running back. And the Knights now look to be in real trouble on defense. This is Powell this time. Great penetration on the right side by Tverdov, and a loss.
You know, when your team's down, your leader steps up. 56, Eric Foster is the spiritual guy who has to remind these guys to keep chopping the wood. It's time now to step up.
Keep chopping wood. That's been the mantra for the last few years under Schiano. One of the many Florida guys on this Rutgers roster. A handhold in there. Tverdov and Foster inside the 2 defensive tackles. 2nd and 13 after the loss. Play clock at 5. Just get it off in time. Braun steps to the side, delivers, incomplete. He was trying to hook up with his favorite target for the last few years, Douglas. Could not make the catch. Frustrating night for number 85. He expected to be part of the fireworks here.
Braun turned this loose, stuck it right in there. Harry's finally got a chance to get the ball up the field and lets one drop to the ground.
Oh, man. You know,
he's a big-time receiver.
Absolutely. You know what? 9 times out of 10, Douglas makes that reception.
He's been shut out tonight, and it was Jason McCourty who got a hand in there to knock the ball free. If you had told us Harry Douglas would be potentially shut out on senior night, a guy with 70 catches coming in, guy in his career has 172 catches. Braun pressured, gets it away. It's caught, but not first down yardage on the far side. Barnage pushed out. And a flag. It's going to be holding against Louisville. This should be
holding on the offense.
Declined.
Number 68. Penalties decline. 4th down.
So Rutgers defense on its heels after 3 straight touchdown drives by Louisville gets the 3 and out.
Up front, they finally got into the backfield, put the pressure on. And how big was the drop pass to Douglas?
Boy, you know, they're giving the ball back up with 5 minutes to go in a tie ball game now. They should have a first down across midfield.
Corey Getchy gets it away. Fair catch at the 24-yard line by Mason Robinson. So Teal gets the football back after Rutgers defense forces a 3 and out. 5:11 to play in a tie game. At their 23-yard line.
Here's where the line, right in here, there's where the game's got to be won. It's not being won by Rutgers' offensive line right now inside.
They fake it to Rice. Steele. Pass batted down. It's caught. And the tight end slipping tackles. Brock fights forward. Check it. It's Kenny Britt, 88, not 89. Heyman got his hand on the pass, and Britt has been limping after almost all of his 11 catches tonight.
34 Buchanan is down on the play. He's the guy that's been up in that box as a safety from a safety position, getting up in there to help stop the run all day.
So thin on this defense. This was a night that began with a tribute to all the seniors, and it was almost a full house. There were some no-shows for sure, but then a lot of the people who came to applaud for Brom and Douglas and Carmody and the other seniors, they took off after the first quarter when this team wasn't showing much life. And a lot of folks are probably at home watching this on TV in Louisville who started the night in those seats, and you got to hand it to the hardcores who's stuck it out with this team.
It was practically a full house. It really was up there. And at halftime, the rest of them left. So, I mean, the Bob Uecker seats up there, these guys are by themselves.
But you know how it is. If you're a fan, it's 30 degrees out here. Your team's out there giving no effort in the first half.
It
looked abysmal at best. You hanging around for that?
Now, the folks that have
hung around and been rewarded with a nice comeback by Louisville. He's not going anywhere. He's not even feeling. These guys aren't feeling the cold.
They're not feeling anything, are they? They got their hats on, though.
You know, you lose 25% of your heat up through the head. This guy here. Yeah, but he's
speaking of 25%.
He's insulated. He has some good insulation.
Built-in protection.
Johnny Patrick now in the game, replacing Bobby Buchanan. So they bring a corner in to replace the injured safety. First down for Rutgers. Fullback in motion. Rice, 30th carry of the night. It's a short game. Heyman on the stop. They haven't let Rice run wild tonight. 14 yards, the longest carry.
Great tackle by Heyman. Diving, grabbing him by the ankles. There was a hole there, Craig. He was off and running. He was going to get to the sideline and turn the corner.
Well, this half now, in the first half, he had 83 yards, Rice did. Second half, 12 carries, about 35, 36 yards. And this is a guy that we're used to seeing getting, 15, 20 carries in the fourth quarter, lathering them up, really pounding the defense.
Almost half of his carries tonight have been for 3 yards or less. It's a good job on Ray Rice. 2nd and 8. Teal looks left, has a man, and they get the fullback who's hammered at the 40, falling forward, and Andres Morales will be about 4 yards short of a first down. Terrence Butler on the stop.
All right, now, Doug, you're a coach, and you're in there in your film room, and you wonder, in the first 3 quarters, where was that?
Exactly what I was thinking. He came up, stuck him. He bounced off, but I held on and twisted, pull him down, get him to the ground anyway.
That's called desire. You've got to play with passion to the football. Mike Cassidy, D coordinator, right there. You
first half, it was not there.
No, what?
3rd and 4. Tipped at the line, incomplete. L.D. Scott got a big hand on it. Louisville forces a 3-and-out. Rutgers has had 3 straight empty possessions here in this fourth quarter. Brom's got 3:32 or so to work with, and Harry Douglas back as one of the punt returners tonight. That's not his normal position. The senior we talked about being shut out. He joins Trent Guy. Punt formation.
I really like these 2 guys back for safeties on a punt return. When the kicker scrambles and rolls out and kicks it, you can prevent the ball from hitting the ground and getting extra yards.
This is Guy retreating, losing a couple of yards on the return. Good coverage by Rutgers.
He gave a little peek to Harry Douglas there. It looked like they might have had a fake reverse or just some little wrinkle off of that.
Too, yeah.
The punt didn't allow it.
His final game at Papa John Stadium, almost certainly his final college game. They could get bowl eligible at 6-6, but doesn't appear to be a slot available for him. And here comes Brian Brom. Uncharacteristic night, only 11 of 21, 191 yards, trying to cap what has been a very spirited rally here tonight. And a loss. Stripling on first down.
Who was that guy there, Fowler, on that tackle?
Foster.
There's a leader over there. Talking
about
about
a shaky second half for Rutgers on defense in this great career for Braun, who is in the spotlight even as his days as a high school star on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You can see the timeline, his progression here as he kind of grows up before your eyes.
And as a mom or dad, it seems like yesterday. Here's his mother right here.
Yep, there's Dad.
Dad down below. It just happens so fast.
Bolin for about 11. Strike and then one.
I was going to ask you, can you Bolin for 11? Nice pickup, Fowler. I like the instincts of Bolin as a runner, though.
Carmody has range, the all-time leading scorer in the NCAA, breaking that record tonight. Got a long way to go to get in field goal range. Clock, though, inside of 2.5. This is going to be it. Last possession for Brom on this field, at least in regulation. It's a short game. Once again, Foster disruptive. Powell got about 2.
From a Louisville standpoint, there's a lot of check with me going on at the line of scrimmage. Rutgers is playing past the fence in a 2-deep coverage. Brian Brom keeps checking to the runs. There's plenty of time. There's still 2 minutes on the clock, and all they need is the field goal.
You know why that Rutgers is able to do the coverage that they are and invite the run is because Foster's up front smacking them around. He's like an 8th man up there.
Eventually, they're going to have to go to the air, though, aren't they, guys, if they're going to get down the field. And Brom will throw it deep. Has Douglas. Harry Douglas finally on the board. The first catch for the senior is a huge one, 46 yards.
Carter does a great job of getting out of his way and allowing Harry Douglas to catch his ball. Harry Douglas gets pushed wide. Brom takes the hit, puts it over the outside shoulder, and Carter steps back and lets him catch it.
Here's the beauty of sport. You drop a football in the last series, Harry Douglas, you get another chance. You got to let it go. Come back, make another play. Brom family, Santa Claus, everybody fired up.
Is that how they drew that up to have 2 receivers?
No, that was not drawn up in the playbook.
Harry's route, Harry Douglas' route should have stayed up the seam, but it was man-to-man coverage. Usually a man you throw to the outside receiver, but he had a good release and got pushed a little wide, and therefore with the ball in the air as long as it was, both guys started towards the football.
How about this game here? Brian Brom down 18 points again and again and again, and able to help this team come back. Another look at the route.
Here's your seam, Doug, that you're talking about in the middle here. So that's where you got your deal. But then you get these guys. One of them's supposed to be over here. One of them's going to be on the outside.
Well, the outside receiver got an inside release. The inside receiver got an outside release, and it brought them together up the numbers. But great patience by Carter to sit there and screen off the defender and allow Harry Douglas to catch it.
You know who was really polite in that scenario there were those 3 white shirts for not going up for the football.
Very polite.
Go up and block the ball, make a play. Rutgers, other than Foster, he's got 10 teammates out there that need to step up with
in
him.
hockey, they would get the Lady Bing Award for sportsmanship.
Lady Bing Award. Wow, NHL reference. Powell, 7 yards deep on the first down. The freshman makes a freshman mistake. He reversed his field, trying to make a big play. Instead, loses about 8 and takes them back out of field goal range for the moment as we check back with Reese Davis.
All right, Chris, very quickly. It's 49 seconds away from being
a lot, but he's 2nd and 19.
There's a guy right there. He can get you back in the game. Barnage tied in.
They're not quite in field goal range for Carmody. He came up short from 52 earlier, but Bowen cuts it back and barrels inside the 20, and now they are in field goal range with 1:05 to play.
Now they split that run, Louisville did, against a loaded up box. So that's a great job up front by the offensive line. Just a fantastic job.
It was Rutgers that spent a timeout there, and they're out of them now. It's going to be 3rd and 19. Shanna trying to save some time, perhaps, for his offense, assuming that Carmody can kick a field goal here. ESPNU All-State standings. This is the current BC. Brock Bolin is the setback. They figure to be pretty safe here. Carmody, a very reliable kicker, and right now this would be about a 33-yard attempt. And Rutgers, no more timeouts. Craig Thorpe very likely to just let this thing run down on 4th and 9 now. I haven't see. There's going to be about a 25-second difference.
Yeah, call timeout. Make sure that you get everybody out there comfortably on time, relaxed.
Well, was Teal putting on the helmet for last-ditch effort to make up a deficit, or is it overtime? Carmody earlier tonight became the all-time leading scorer in 1A history. He's had a great career. He won the Lou Groza Award as the top kicker in the country last year. Not among the 3 finalists this year, but another solid year. And on senior night, this senior could have a
A heck of a punctuation mark. Break the all-time record, kick the game-winning field goal, and a huge comeback.
Well, a huge comeback. When you flash back, though, really at the end of the second quarter, remember? You got Louisville that gets the big touchdown at the very end of the second quarter. And that to me was what gave them life going in to the locker room. Patrick Carter, number 4, takes it the distance.
Scored with 11 seconds left, and they got the ball back with only a minute to go in the half. And that's when they ran that little reverse to get him in the down and distance, caught the completion, and took off. Huge score before the half. Here's a chance.
Can they complete the rally? Here's the record breaker. 33 yards for a 3-point lead. Got it. Straight points for Louisville, 20 seconds to play, and the Cardinals up 41-38. We checked back with Reese one last time. National Football League, and it looked like it was going to be a dismal senior night, Doug, for him here. It was a quiet night statistically, but it'll feel pretty good.
Just from a standpoint of it being senior night, to have that big completion to Harry Douglas, which potentially won the game. It isn't over yet, 20 seconds, and Rutgers has returned some kicks. But to have that big completion go to Harry Douglas in that situation.
And how about Mike Cassidy, defensive coordinator at Louisville, who's taken a ton of heat, and he's earned it. 35 points through 3 quarters, and they held him to 3 in the 4th.
Well, Rutgers has come real close on kickoff returns, especially early on in the game. So there's always a possibility.
See what Flannery does. He's been kicking him fairly short. Just the regular kickoff to Mason Robinson. And Mason falls across the 35-yard line. 13 seconds to go. Rutgers can chuck it downfield, try to set up a tying field goal, but this was just before halftime, Craig, what you talked about.
Yeah, this was the key play in my mind here, because at halftime, if they go in down as big as they were, I mean, there's no hope whatsoever. This was like a gimme. I mean, here was Braum, who had just overcome a bad sack to his leg, stepped up in the pocket, delivered to Carter for the big touchdown.
Yeah, but they fell down by 18 points again quickly in the third quarter after the turnover and had to rally. What will Shiano's team do? Teal fires over the middle. It's complete. Oh, the hook and ladder was fumbled. Trying to stay alive is Tim Brown, and that's it. The Brown clan can celebrate. Wrangler 5-star player of the game is Brian Brown. Only 237, had a rushing touchdown, but as Doug said, the pass with his favorite target the last few years, Harry Douglas, fellow senior. They promised fireworks. They were delayed fireworks tonight, but they scored their final 17 points of this game. Cragthorpe, 6-6, not a good year. Rutgers goes bowling at 8-4, but what a comeback for these guys tonight.
And for Cragthorpe, now he's got something he can build on. He can work and have some promise in this offseason.
And to show character coming down the wire and have that type of victory, really something to build on.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com for our entire production team all season long on Thursday.